Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Adam. I'm going to be running a campaign of Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game, here in the office for my friends here. Depending on when you're watching this, it's available either for pre-order or just you can just buy it. You can just go get it right now. Just click down the link, it's the description. It's right there. Just go. More info down there. We're just going to get right into it. Here's hero creation. Hello. I'm Adam, and I'm going to be running a game of the Sentinel Comics role-playing game for these fine people here. I'm so excited for this. We're doing character creation today. Why don't we go around the table and introduce ourselves?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Closson. I'm the creative director here at Rebottaro Games.
I am Paul Bender. I'm going to be playing this game.
Paul's also the CEO of Greater Than Games. Hi, I'm Maggie Clayton. I'm the marketing director for Greater Than Games, and I too am playing in this game.
Hi, I'm Christopher Badell, editor-in-chief of Greater Than Games, and I'm going to be playing Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game, for the first time ever.
This is the first time you've ever played?
I've never played this game before.
Oh, you've never played it?
Paul and I were talking about that at lunch.
That's right.
I've never played this game before. I've made characters before, because I've made Timeslinger and all of Daybreak and everybody. Like, I've done the hero creation.
That's amazing.
I've GM'd dozens of sessions. I've never played a game.
I get to be your first GM. That's
so I
exciting.
Hope that it's not bad.
That's so exciting, Paul.
No pressure.
Okay, so before we start, I want to talk a little bit about the tone of the game that I want to run. So I want to run something that I would describe as more street level. Kind of your usual thing that you might think about with superheroes that aren't like the big ones. Like a Spider-Man, Daredevil sort of level. This is going to be there's like some cosmic options and stuff in the character creation. You're not prohibited from using those, but you're going to have to justify it a lot more if you want to do that. I would like for everybody to have a secret identity as part of this, which means as much or as little as you want of life, friends, work, hobbies, something that goes on outside of your heroing. And then the only other requirement that I have is that each of you have to know at least one other character in or out of costume. So that's pretty much all I've got right now, and I kind of want to see what you want to do and then go from there. So let's get started. If you want to turn to, these are not the right page numbers.
Maggie has a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Do we know like what city you want us to be in? Not that it's super important, but crafting background.
Might be.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So there's a few ways that I could go. It kind of depends on the tone of the characters. Like if you guys are all like super murdery, then like I'm gonna put you in a way worse city than someone who's not.
Okay.
So
That's a decent sized urban setting, like pretty.
yeah, it is a big city.
Big
Right.
city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing street level, but not street level out in the sticks.
Right. You're
Yeah.
not.
We're not
You're not in Hayes, Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean,
So actually, depending on what you end
Listen,
up
we're all
doing, that's not off the table.
Right.
Okay.
I could do a small town thing.
I really
Potentially.
want to solve like very small town problems, like
Someone
Cows.
stole the scarecrow.
yeah, or
from
like
the
the
field.
stop sign.
Kids are actually
is
tipping
upside down.
cows.
Yeah. Oh
Like
god.
the one stop sign.
Right.
Someone
The
turned it
one
upside
stop-
down.
I like if
That's a
somebody,
real problem.
If
Yeah,
somebody
that's-
here wants
It's
to
a
make
big
like a
deal.
small
Yeah.
town
Is
here,
it
but
a
the rest
stop
of us are
sign?
making
So, like,
more
it's
like
upside
things,
down?
we can do a thing where like
Right.
country person in the city setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be a bigger city. I don't think any smaller than like Kansas City.
Sure.
Or something like that.
It's like St. Louis is the same size as Kansas City, or
bigger.
Okay.
It's a little bit bigger.
bigger.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember
They have
Kansas City. I needed
they
a
have a
reference,
similar
guys.
size feel to them, but like they don't feel like New York or LA.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in the
But,
same
like-
range, whereas like New York and LA are just incredibly larger. But they're like a little bit. It's like a continuum. Like you go to St. Louis, and then like Kansas City, and then like Kansas City, Indiana, about the same.
Okay, cool.
And then
I don't need this now.
no, but then we're gonna go. But then you got like Omaha,
Yeah.
and then like Des Moines, and then
Yeah.
And then you
Kinda
can get
get-
into
So I don't think
And then,
any,
like,
Little Rock.
any smaller
Yeah,
than
Little Rock's
Kansas
actually
City.
probably-
the Quad Cities,
Yeah.
that comes after Des Moines.
There will be some
President.
skyscrapers there. That's
So what?
Hero
Some
Skyscraper will be
skyscrapers.
there.
Or like Peoria.
yeah. There are big buildings.
Peoria. comes
Yeah.
after Des Moines.
I mean, Indianapolis
Yeah.
is
Long
skyscrapers.
Peoria.
So.
Which-
Right. So if you want to turn to these are not the
Your
correct
ears
page
will
numbers,
pop.
viewers at
You'll
home,
have
but
them
page
still.
52 in the thing that you've got.
The guided method step by
Yeah.
step.
You can see the step that we go through. We do background, then power source, archetype, personality, red abilities, retcon, health, and finishing touches. That is the way this goes. I don't know if you need more help than that, or if you want to just start going. Does anyone have any questions?
I have an idea already.
Yeah.
So if I have an idea, do I just go and pick the thing that I want? I don't roll the dice. I just make the hero that I want based on what's available.
You can just pick what you want. Yeah,
Okay.
if it's really outlandish, I'm gonna make you like really sell it to me.
Yeah.
But-
No, I don't think it is. I think it'll be
Okay.
okay.
And as you go, when you're doing if you're doing the method like that where you're selecting as you go instead of rolling for it, you still need to retain the dice from each step because that'll determine the dice sizes.
It does. Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't
So-
matter.
So
I would say also like kind of like I don't know, dog ear the page or keep a bookmark or something in page 53 because that's something
Just
that
fold
you're
it.
you're gonna have to
fold that
refer
page
to a whole
53.
bunch.
It's going to be important.
General
Trying to
page
start
was the
rolling.
one that you just told me about.
48.
48,
Where it tells you
okay.
the differences between the guided or constructed. So like where you already have an idea,
Yeah.
it'll tell you, how you would make that work versus if you were going into it without an idea,
Yeah.
which would be the guided method.
Okay, cool. Because I've made 2 guided ones already.
Yeah.
So you're
So-
doing
Yep.
doing
'Cause
the
I did constructed last time.
you're
Okay.
doing
And now I'm
constructed
flipping.
now and you're doing guided now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Curious to see how this goes. I have no plan.
And are both of you doing guided?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm going to do
Okay.
guided for
Yeah.
sure. Because I don't really have an idea, so I'm kind of
right. I'm going to let the system inform what decisions I make. I haven't decided. I don't know where I'm going here,
Cool.
so we'll see what happens.
Not gonna do that. I did that last time. So Maggie, do you want to share any parts of your character in case, since we somebody like you need to know someone
Yeah.
else in the group, in case one of us is like, oh, I could play off that, and then our characters could know each other.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What do you know so far? And also like as soon as anyone selects a background, then you can.
So
Let me know.
my idea is that I'm going to be a college student, or maybe like I'm working on my master's degrees. Maybe I'm not that young, but and I've been studying like plant types and things like that, and I'm really active in the
Nice.
like
Yeah.
conservation community and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to pick academic as
Okay.
a background,
Oh, cool.
and
Yeah,
something's
that's
going to have
cool.
happened, and now I have flora and fauna powers. So I kind of want to. So I really like Poison Ivy, and I also really like that character from Sky High, who
Oh,
was like
yeah.
a total hippie that wouldn't use her powers and stuff.
The best superhero movie ever made.
Yes, right. I really like the movie. So
It's fantastic.
I liked their powers a lot, and I liked their personalities a lot because you had an extremist and then like another way different type of extremist. You had an extremist that was a bad guy, and an extremist that was like, I'm such a good guy, I don't want to use my powers for anything
Nice.
unless I have to.
Yeah.
And so I liked that idea, and then I also big, believer in conservation. So
Yeah.
that's the type of character I'm making.
Okay.
Cool.
That's good. Those are some good notes to figure out like how we might know you. So I have an option between dynasty or military for my background. I'm trying to decide between the two. Is there one of those that works or doesn't work with anything anyone else is doing?
And what was the other
don't
one?
know yet.
Dynasty
I don't
and what?
know yet.
Sorry, I was
Dynasty and
reading.
military.
Dynasty and military.
I just didn't know if there was somebody like, if someone was like, no, I use military, then I would do something else or whatever, but that's
Right.
fine.
You can also feel free to think outside the box on what military means.
Yeah.
So it could just be like the, I'm blanking on what they're called now. You know, in high school, how they do the drills and stuff?
ROTC?
ROTC.
Oh, yeah.
I kept wanting to say RCMP.
That's not it.
No, that's the.
Is there
I mean, you could be
Is
that
that like
too.
a rapper? I'm not sure
No,
what that is.
it's it's the Royal Canadian Mounted
we're
Police.
RCMP.
RCMP, yeah, you know.
Yo,
Mike.
representing
That's it.
Me
in the
and-
Great White North, y'all.
Actually, maybe have something coming together
Oh, I
accidentally.
thought maybe that gave Christopher an idea.
It did
and I was
not.
really
I'm a
terrified.
Mountie. This is based in New York City, and
I'm a
somehow.
Mountie. My secret identity is that I'm a rapper at night.
Oh my god, that would be so good. Actually, this is now based in like what's a big city there? Toronto.
Toronto's a good one. There's a few.
No, but that was the one that I was like, which one would be like?
Saskatoon.
Montreal. I think that's all of them.
Yeah. There's 4
Isn't
cities
it
in Canada.
Quebec
We
City.
should probably
Is that
Toronto,
what's one of them?
Yeah, Toronto,
City,
Quebec,
Montreal, and
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Oh, Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. We apologize to
I've been to
Canadians
all
for
of
not
those except
knowing
Vancouver.
I know.
that much, except for
I
Jeff.
like that you're saying
I really
we
like
apologize.
Canada.
I-
It's you.
I could draw a map of Canada and correctly label all the provinces.
I've been to a lot of the provinces. I could not.
I'm
do
going to ask you to do that. I'm going to put it on social media and see if
Alright.
you get it right. Not
Yeah,
right
that
now.
sounds good.
This is a later project. Okay.
There's a time that I was working for a startup company that the guy in charge was kind of a weirdo, but he wanted everybody at the company to be able to draw the entire United States. That like someone could come in to visit the company and they could ask anyone in the building, draw the U.S. And they could do it. And so he was like teaching us all how to draw the United States from memory.
Was that this company?
No.
Because I'm kind of a weirdo. I think that's awesome.
You're not this kind of weirdo,
Fair enough.
thankfully, because no one would want to work for you.
What a funny requirement. That's the best.
Yes.
We're going to make the rule. We're not going to do that. We're just going to make it Europe. You have to be able to draw
You have
Europe.
to be able to draw
and
Europe.
label all the countries.
Yeah. Right. That's not harder at all.
Sexy.
I think the shapes are more difficult.
That's true.
Like,
There's
there's a
fewer
lot of squares in
Yeah, that's
the middle U.S. So,
That's the trouble with me drawing. Like I could do a poor approximation of the look of Canada, but I could correctly label the position of all the provinces.
so what are you leaning towards right now, Christopher?
Give me a
In
second.
terms of background.
I'm doing a weird thing, and I might need to come. I need to circle back around.
Okay.
I'm going down to see if this can work.
Okay.
And then
You're
I'll-
going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I haven't done this before, so I'm pushing on it, seeing if.
Jen, did you
Okay.
choose military or?
Paul.
So I went with Dynasty for now.
You're
We'll
going
see how
Dynasty.
this goes.
I kind of like the idea of someone having like some good social skills, and I think it's at any socials, right? So for qualities.
Dynasty? Yeah. Yep.
What about you, Paul?
I don't know. I think I'm going to do performer,
Okay.
but I don't know of what or
That's
what that means yet.
very broad.
Correct.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
you
just
can
kind of some on.
choose that later.
I'm thinking of insight and creativity as.
The reason that I'm saying I'm gonna have to circle back is because I believe that I'm going with the background of blank slate,
Oh.
and so I need to circle back
That makes sense.
because I have a potential idea, but it depends on what comes next.
So Maggie, remember that thing you just said about how it'd be nice to have somebody with social stuff? It ain't gonna be me.
That's fine.
It might be me. We'll see. Maybe.
What are you leaning
Can you
towards this?
explain? More
Well,
details,
I
please.
just-
Why are you so opposed to social
Yeah.
I
stuff?
just currently at this point in time, I'd rather put my dice toward close combat and fitness as opposed to something from the social qualities.
Oh,
So currently at this point, no social qualities.
I was hoping that you
So
would
we'll
call it
see.
as like misanthropic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, right? Like you just literally, yeah.
So you're moving on to power source. You are going with blank slate for now?
I'm going for the blank place
Okay.
slate for now.
All right.
Mm. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Oh, ha, nope. Definitely read that one.
Keep in mind when you're picking your principles that those are kind of just like the questions underneath are kind of just guidelines. You can interpret that pretty broadly also. And if you don't find one that you like, you always have your retcon later.
See how that goes. I might do Principle of Chaos, which is a very different type
Okay.
of role for me.
All right.
So we'll see how this goes. That might be my retcon, but let's do this.
I am doing principle of stealth. Just so everyone knows.
I thought you said principle of stuff at first. And I was
Principle
thinking,
of stuff.
doing the principle of stuff.
Yeah, it lets me do just a lot of stuff.
Stuff. Maybe some things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what principle did you end up with, Paul?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay.
Thinking.
Paul, I'm going to make you translate some Latin for me later
All right.
because I know you're into it.
I am. think I'm going to go with principle of the debtor.
Of what?
The debtor.
The debtor. Okay. That couples with performer very well,
Yeah.
at least at an amateur level.
What are you trying to say?
Saying that art doesn't make enough money. I'm saying that you should pay artists more.
Wow,
I'm saying
making this game into your soapbox already.
I'm saying that I want more money. Okay, I think that's everybody is done with backgrounds then. So moving on to power sources. Who's made selections on that so far?
Experimentation.
Experimentation.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So you like went to quintiles and they.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I'm kind of starting to form the very basics of like.
Okay.
It is rolling this stuff, and I'm like, a shape is forming. I don't know where it's leading exactly yet, but.
So
Relic.
Okay.
I have a question, and I might just not be understanding something.
Yes.
I'm picking, so I picked academic as my
Yes.
background, and I chose my principal, and I was looking at the qualities, and I get leadership and self-discipline, and then I get to pick one, and it says assign a D12 and a D8 to two of these qualities, but then it doesn't tell me what to assign the other one?
Oh no. So
So you get
it's
a-
you get leadership, self-discipline, or
Or-
anything from
oh.
information.
You get two qualities.
You get two
Cool,
of
cool,
them.
cool. That makes more sense. Sorry. I just read it wrong.
Do you know what your relic is?
I think so. But it depends on how the story goes.
That can make things easy for me in terms of note taking.
I will give you a complete story.
Just like at the end.
I'll get there as quick as I can. I promise.
All right. All right. Yeah, I saw Paul looking at this, so I was going to bring it up to Jen and Maggie also. If you have any questions about what specific abilities, or I'm sorry, powers or qualities do, on 121, there's a whole list of them, and they break that down a little bit.
Oh, nice.
And also, if there's a specific power or quality that you want that's close to another one, but not quite, just talk to me about that, and we can figure that out.
I think I can make this work. So I think my power source is going to be accident.
Okay.
I think mine is too. To be fair, I kind of told you that mine was probably going to be, like, my character's background kind of makes sense.
Are you saying that Jen's character's background doesn't
No,
make
I just
sense?
mean
Wow.
that I told
Wow.
I just also
Wow,
mean that I
okay.
came up with my
All
background
right.
first, so who's copying who?
But you didn't tell anybody what your background is, so I mean, there's
I
stuff
did.
in
I
advance.
explained some stuff already.
You seem really
I think-
defensive.
I think that it's fine to have 2 accidents on one team.
I mean, boy,
Didn't really
if it's
work.
not,
If you think these are going to be the only accidents. That said, I do think that I'm going to try and keep the tone of this one a little bit more serious than prior games that we've done at the office. It's not going to be, hey, no fun and games, no laughing anybody, but
but seriously, no laughing.
right, really, no laughing. I don't want any of that. No frolicking, no enjoyment.
I think that it'll still feel very different between our characters, though.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Because I actually really like the fact that I think I can craft an interesting story with the idea that I come from a dynasty of heroes, and yet my powers come from an accident.
Oh,
And I'm like the one in
That's
the family.
really interesting,
Because I'm
yeah.
the one in the family that was like the only one who didn't have the powers,
kind of like
was
at the
going to
beginning
be
of Sky
whatever.
High.
And then I don't know, I've never seen it.
You haven't seen Sky High? Okay,
Oh my
well,
God.
that's what we're doing sometime soon.
I'm just gonna
Like right
So
now, we're gonna
basically-
pause this, watch
Yeah.
Sky High, and
Yeah.
then come back so we can reference it.
They're Superman type hero, and his sidekick have a kid, and that kid doesn't have powers.
Sidekick.
They're partners. They're not sidekicks. Because there's a specific delineation of what's a sidekick and what's not. They're both definitely
Get the
heroes.
lore straight.
Whatever. Either way, they have a kid who seemingly
Yeah.
doesn't have any powers.
Well, I didn't
So you're
know, so I'm
so-
still taking that as my own
I just
idea.
want
Thank
to
you.
let you know they end up dating at the end of the movie.
That's true.
Whoa, spoilers!
She's never gonna watch it.
She's gonna watch it
I
right
think
now.
it's pretty clear from within the first 5 minutes of the movie that they're going to end up
Yeah,
dating.
I mean it's a great movie, but it's also a teen rom-com. So
It's incredibly predictable, but also
Yeah.
very fun.
yeah, it's very fun. So I think I want to give myself the power of, so I have 2 options, and I think that I could logic either one, but I want to know your opinion.
Yeah.
Shapeshifting or invisibility. I think I could logically shapeshift myself into a tree, a bush, something that is similarly sized to my character, but a plant type. I also think that I could argue that if I take invisibility and claim it's like more like a camouflage, like I do still like, I change my skin, something happens, but it's
Right.
a plant type of invisibility, not just straight up invisible.
Right. You blend in
Yeah.
instead of. Yeah.
Which
You
one
could
do
Either
you
of those really
prefer?
works.
You
but
could just take the power of camouflage.
you could take, yeah,
Just treat it like invisibility for all intents and purposes of any charts it comes from.
But call
Yeah.
it camouflage?
yeah.
Because
But if you'd
you're doing
rather
a slightly
do,
different thing.
yeah, if you'd rather do that, then like absolutely.
I think that there could be a lot of, like, in the non-serious, if I was non-serious and playing this was a more funny game, I would be like, oh, I shapeshift and turned you into a tree, and now there's a tree in the center of, like, a parking lot or, you know, like the middle of a building. It's like, that makes no sense. That didn't help anybody.
You literally only change into trees.
Yeah, I can only change into trees. Or, like, there's a bush in the center of this, like, office building now, and everyone's really confused.
You and Barbaros would have gotten along very well.
Yeah. So, like, that could be that would be the funny side of it, but I don't want it to be funny, so I think camouflage makes more sense.
That's pretty cool, especially if you're using the principle of stealth also.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I have an option to take something from the materials category. I was thinking about plants.
Yeah, good.
I'm kidding.
I needed to, like, I wish I could do the face that Jim does in the office, because that's what it needed to be, me being like,
Right.
Yeah, and it like zooms once and then zooms twice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, I would actually be more like Dwight in that situation, and you would be the Jim. Just
Yeah. I'm okay
But with the
that.
plans.
but with plans.
I'm taking 3 materials: bears, beets, and
Battlestar
Battlestar Galactica.
Galactica.
So you're on Archetype now,
I
yeah?
sure am, and I'm debating between 2 of them. I'm debating between Psychic and Gadgeteer.
Oh, those are very different.
I'm super curious
Maybe
as to
not
what's
so
going
much.
on over here. I wrote too big.
Which of the information qualities would you think most pertains, page 53, most pertains to knowing a lot about modern day superheroes?
I think that you would make your own for that. I think that you can just do one that's superhero knowledge or crime fighting lore.
See, the thing is, I would say
Or-
crime fighting lore, but I don't mean, oh, I know a lot about how to fight crime. I know a lot about who fights crime.
Yeah. A superhero lore is not
Vigilante
bad.
lore?
Vigilante lore. That's not.
Yeah.
I think that has darker connotations.
But I think I
than-
want that for
than
for this setting that
Okay.
we're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I think make one up for that.
Yeah.
You picked accident, right? You did? I just want to let you know I'm choosing the... No. I
Just wanna let you
just
know.
I'll let you know how you're copying me.
Just
No,
wanna
no,
let you
no.
know.
I wanted to make sure we can totally choose the same abilities, but I thought I'd tell you what abilities I
Yeah,
chose
what do
from
you got?
that. So I took Ambush Awareness, Reflective Burst, and which one was it? Inflict. I changed it to Rooted, so I had to double check. I haven't
Okay.
changed the other names yet.
Okay,
And I-
so if I have agility, I was thinking about awareness, but I don't have to. I haven't landed on a third one.
Oh, for that I took plants and camo. So I don't think we'll have
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have an issue with that. I just wanted to let you know
Yeah,
about
I stayed away from a lot of those. I was thinking about absorption, but I don't know if I want to go that route.
Sorry to do this again. Can you put all your phones on airplane mode? This is a weird thing, I'm getting the microphone, so.
Weird.
What is it?
Sometimes there's certain cell phones that interact with microphones.
Mine's on Do Not Disturb, so
Put it on airplane.
yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just
It's just an easy way to usually fix the problem. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay, well, let's start over. Please throw your sheets away.
I'm having a really hard time picking my third power.
What do you have so far?
I have agility and awareness so far. I have acrobatics and close combat for qualities, so agility seemed to make sense. I liked the idea of awareness because the enhanced senses
Yeah.
made it also kind of fit pretty well with the idea of like if I can jump around, be quick to like kind of move around parts of the city or whatever, being aware of my surroundings, imposing
Right.
threats, things like that. The third one, I can pick one more power, and that's what I'm having trouble deciding on, because if I go with another athletic one, I just feel like with like speed, strength, or vitality, I feel like I've crafted a very like pretty typical like I'm really fast and I jump around a lot, and
Right.
but I fight close. Like it just
I mean, that's good.
yeah.
You need a person like that.
It just feels a little
You're
bit
just concerned that it's too bland?
Yeah.
I think that what I would recommend at this point is thinking a little bit in depth about your character concept and picking something really weird that's going to be
Right.
like this is kind of your shtick.
Because like there's something we said for the fact that like if I come from a family of heroes and it's an accident that I got this, that maybe my powers are a little bit more quote unquote mundane than like
Well, what are
something that they would have had. So it's more akin to like whatever I was doing in regular life somehow got enhanced in some way. But
or like maybe the dynasty that you come from is very generic heroes. They're all like flight, strength, super speed, all of them.
yeah,
And then
kind of
you
flip it on
have
its
something
head.
really weird
Yeah.
as a result because you got yours differently. Something that doesn't seem to have an immediate application, maybe.
So I mean, one of my options is psychic powers.
Yeah, I mean, between
that would be,
athletic, elemental energy, intellectual, materials, psychic, and self-control, you have a lot of options.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from materials because like it's got like plants and stuff in there, and then that really did feel like I was just
Right.
making Maggie's character again.
Yeah,
Someone's got to.
but like self-control, those are all the weirdest powers.
Yep. And
Yeah,
it's all stuff that you
so-
do to change yourself.
Yeah.
I had thought a little bit about absorption, but then again, we're talking about like invisibility, and shape-shifting, which are two things that Maggie was debating. So I tried to just stay away from self-control powers in general. So that kind of leaves with like the option of the psychic powers. Like, I mean, I could really throw a weird wrench in it and do animal control, and then Maggie and I can constantly be at odds about the fact that she's a conservationist. But if you're like a conservationist, but then I'm constantly like, nah, I take away this animal's free will to like do a thing.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't stay away from self-control though, because like every single one of these is drastically different. The only ones that are kind of similar in some ways are intangibility and density control.
Yeah.
But even those are still different. So like, you could do part detachment. You could throw your hands at people. You could do duplication. That's crazy. You could do size changing.
Yeah.
Like there's elasticity.
Oh my god.
That'd
be fun.
There's a lot of weird options in self-control just because Maggie's got something from that, like doesn't preclude that category.
Yeah.
And also you have to think about like having, if you did choose like invisibility or shapeshifting, like that's not exactly the same. It always happens in a different way, and it might like, if I'm choosing the element of camo, I don't.
You didn't choose shapeshifting.
I didn't choose.
Right?
That's
No,
right,
I
you
choose
ended up
camo.
going with-
I ended
yeah.
up making up my
Okay.
own thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that like camo probably won't work if we're in an office building. I could make myself look like one of the plants there. Like maybe I could
Yeah.
blend in with like the ficus in the corner, but I can't like go invisible entirely
Yeah.
or blend in with a coffee maker and like
Yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
What die size do you have in camouflage? Maggie?
Oh, 6.
6. Okay, yeah.
So it's not my strong suit.
it's not that great.
Yeah. Yeah. Because plants are my strong suit. Yeah.
You look pleased. You look
Really
very pleased with
pleased.
yourself.
I'm really pleased.
What do you got?
I just comic bind my name and it works.
Oh,
Not that we need to for this game, but I was just like,
Right.
I wonder if this works.
yeah.
My powers, my background is blank slate. My power source is relic.
Yeah.
And my archetype is gadgeteer, but in
Okay.
a weird way,
All right.
of course.
I'm kind of stuck on animal control just because I like the fact that it's going to put
It
a
would-
lot of stress between our characters.
Yeah.
Well,
and
also consider it's very limited in a city.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Rats,
You got rats.
pigeons.
you got-
Cockroaches.
Yeah.
There's
I mean, but like,
the urban animals, the dogs, the alley dogs and cats that are there. You can get a lot of information. Being an urban animal controller has a lot of interesting application for like
yeah, I'm not saying that
like,
it's nothing, but it is more limited than if you were in a
bats.
jungle.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
But less limited than if you were in
a cave. Actually,
Antarctica.
caves are not very
It's really like deep in caves.
deep in caves.
Yeah.
There's just like no life.
The moon.
Oh yeah, the
You're on
moon
the
not great
moon.
for animals. There's very few,
Very few.
Yeah.
not none.
Really just one or two.
Yeah, and they've been there
What
a
do you
long
guys
time.
know about the moon that I don't
There
know?
also
We can't tell you.
aren't
It's
none. That's what we're
haunted.
It's haunted.
Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted. Oh my god! I remember that. It's a meme. It's a.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
It's a reference to a game that just came out.
I don't know the game.
Okay.
I don't play games. Is it a video game?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't play video games.
Okay.
Are you making a character?
Yeah, it's really good. Are you making a character?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
So one of us wrote this book and the other one didn't. So I think
But how will we know which one it is?
the world will never know.
One of
There are
us
two
wrote
people
this
on this
book.
side of the table. One of them wrote this book and the other one didn't.
How in one question will you determine?
Did you write this book?
Yes.
Oh, it's you.
That was way easier than I expected.
Good question. Good God,
Yeah.
that's a good
I
one.
didn't say anything about either of them lying about it. They just assumed it was what's my line rules.
My principles, because they matter, is the principle discovery. I'm into learning new things, and really more than just learning new things, finding out the truth of everything.
Yeah.
And peace I'm a pacifist, I'm a pacifist, I'm a pacifist, I'm a pacifist. And that's not necessarily specifically what the principle says,
Yeah.
but I'm just letting you know, I don't violence.
You don't violence
I
at
don't
all.
violence.
That's great.
I
Do you
not
let other
violence.
people violence?
If that's what they feel they need to
What
do,
if someone wants to violence you?
they should really rethink their life choices. I might not be there when they go to do the violencing.
Ah, okay.
So I'm making a character, and one of the things I'm like, this would be interesting, can I do it? Is I'm choosing exclusively powers, qualities, and abilities that like
Start
have
with the letter
minimal
A.
to do with combat.
Same.
They're all like social, or like,
That's what I
I'm just a person,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
and like I don't really,
This is why I was really glad
we're gonna
when
be a
Jay's
bad
like,
team.
oh, I'm good at like jumping and punching and doing some combat things. I'm like, well, that sure is handy because I'm not.
so that's like my main goal, is like what ones are like minimally useful in combat.
So I got two
That's what I'm
like,
selecting.
mercenaries and two
My backstory was definitely
Gandhis.
going to be the fact that I'm super reluctant about all of these things.
No, that's
because
great.
the not having of powers was what made me different from
And you're just
everyone
gonna be a
else in
murderer?
my family.
Are you
And
just a
now all
murderer?
of
I
a
was
sudden
gonna-
I have
yeah,
powers.
Yeah, she's like, I was gonna, yeah.
No, I was just gonna be like
Regular style murder.
regular time murder. No, I just like so I gave myself criminal underworld info and stuff like that because like my backstory was gonna be something where I was like really I was like a really hardcore activist and like knew a lot of stuff about a lot of people and about a lot of companies and just like all of that underworld stuff and that I was like very like I'm gonna go punch somebody in the face about this,
Yeah.
not just like I'm gonna go hold a sign. So
Throw red paint around.
yeah,
should-
exactly. I was
we
that
should
person.
open a winery.
We should open a winery.
In
this
the
game
I
is
middle
really
already,
of
about.
I
New
already
York
own a small
City.
business here.
I can
Right.
make those
Or a
plans for
brewery.
like
Yeah, we could just like
City.
an urban brewery. That's our RPG.
Oh, great.
We're just gonna.
All right.
I don't
I don't need to be here for
wanna-
this. That's, you guys have fun.
I don't want to do this.
You never played an RPG with me and Christopher as players in this.
You're right. I haven't.
This
been
is your.
my- you've
This
been my
is your
GM.
fault.
I feel like
I know. I can actually play it.
You put together a game where Adam jammed it and Paul and I were in
So-
it.
I feel like I remember playing in a game where in the first session, both Christopher and Paul came up with such a plan that Paul's character died in like the first
That's true.
15
That's
true,
minutes.
Yeah, that was
Because they
great.
thought it was a really good idea to just blow everything up.
Yeah,
and he
that's
was like,
true.
fine,
That was a
I'll
Star Wars
survive.
game.
I was like, was
That
I,
worked.
was I
Yeah.
And
there?
Adam was GMing.
I was
Yeah,
jamming.
that
Yeah.
worked. That was awesome.
The plan
So
worked.
the plan
It worked.
Paul just died in the first session
Well,
of the
that's
RPG.
fine.
I mean, as long as the
Sometimes you
plan
lose a
works.
character when you're
Yeah.
on a team of ne'er-do-wells doing like a scoundrel thing. Sometimes you lose one and then you go get another one.
Paul also seduced an Imperial officer.
That was
in
Also
great.
second
that,
campaign.
yeah,
True.
I was
That
gonna
was
say,
great,
there
and
were
we
also
filmed
other
it.
sketchy
Game.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
You
second
filmed
session.
it?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
filmed
we,
it.
they filmed it to,
So that they could
within.
use it as
Oh,
blackmail.
I was like, why did you film
it was blackmail
yourself
for
playing somebody
further-
else's RPG? Who cares?
No.
Yeah. There were
Our
a lot of
characters
elaborate-
created a blackmail video.
Yes,
in
I
the
realized
game.
that.
There were elaborate plans that generally were based around these two just getting into
Well, that game
some of
Getting
the
in
ended
trouble.
by
most terrible
them
situations.
stealing a crime lord's yacht and treasury,
Yes.
and then
True.
just being rich
Yeah.
forever.
Oh
That
my
was-
god.
That was how
Let's play that game
ended.
again.
It's a good game. She
You should have warned Maggie before she told us all to be in this game. Like
No,
this.
here's the thing. I had conversations with
the
Jen.
principle of chaos.
I had a conversation with Jen where I was like, all right, these are the people that are available to play. I think that these are the people I want to pick. I have a lot of arguments for why it's wrong to pick these people, but I think I'm going to do it anyways. And then we went to Essen, and I was like, yeah, I guess we're committed. Like,
Just-
No, it's correct for a lot of
No, it'll be
reasons
good.
too.
It'll be good.
like
yeah.
this.
Well, and also like
I'll just,
we're
like,
very good at
First
like
major twist, I'll
this.
just have your
Yeah.
brewery
So
blow
I
up.
think we can
And then they're,
combat
like,
that.
have to get
Maybe,
revenge on the guy that blew
unless
it
I
up.
build a character
Yeah, we're
that's
just gonna
completely
just
opposite
be like,
to
well,
you,
you know,
and
sometimes
then
people have to blow up breweries.
It's okay. I've got the power of
I
leadership.
think we're
so I'll
gonna
just
go
be
to
like,
the insurance
I
company,
lead Jen
and we're
to
going to
do
negotiate
this.
we have
with
a
the insurance
leader.
company.
Yeah.
That's our main goal
Yeah,
here.
I already took the leadership
This
quality,
is the
so
most
no one
boring
no.
superhero. They're like, we're
We're-
talking to an insurance agent.
We're really just
I liked
problems.
it better than because it was self-discipline or leadership, and I was like, well, I don't have self-control, so let's not go there. I can only play a new character so much. Like,
So you're both on Archetype now too?
yeah.
Mostly.
I'm debating. I'm trying to figure out what I think element manipulator is the one that makes the most sense for archetype for me. And it gives me the option to choose another element to control, which I kind of thought maybe weather for a second, and then I was like, I don't know, that seems really, maybe like too much.
Well, it depends on what you're doing with the weather.
Yeah.
Like, if you just need it to rain on your plants, like that's not the end of the world. But
And then I was like, well, maybe I have flight, but it's not really flight. It's like how leaves glide.
what other options? What was the other option?
This is what
So
it
it's
sounds like when leaves glide.
yeah, this is what it sounds like. So it was choose an elemental or energy power or absorption, flight, leaping, swimming, signature vehicle or signature weaponry.
Well, I meant, what's your other? What was your other archetype idea?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I was going to say, like, depending on what you're doing with your plants, I was going to suggest maybe minion maker.
Oh, that's an idea. Let me read that
It
one.
depends on how animate you want your plants, on how,
It'd be really fun.
like, if you're making little planty guys.
Shirkers and gobkins.
Like,
Sorry.
that's not a bad
Different
idea.
game reference. That is kind of cool, though. I do like that.
Oh, I guess I should.
I think you should rename this power in the book from Mobile Dodge to like Mobile Chrysler. I think that just is a little catchier.
You can and should be renaming all of them on your sheet, so you can call it Mobile Chrysler.
Oh, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's why that's what it's called Dodge for. It's
No, that
supposed to be
makes
more
sense.
generic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you.
We want it-
That works.
I've got to say, this is one of my favorite arts in the book right now. It's super cool. I'll show it to the camera.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense. I like this. That was a really,
We'll put it up on the.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a NCO.
That was a
But it's
really
rad.
good suggestion, Minion Maker,
Yeah.
because I just read Part Detachment,
Yeah.
and I think that that's perfect, where like a vine hops off me, like I grow a vine
Oh,
and it
you
hops
grow
off
it and take it off. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
I like that a lot. Thank you.
So are you yourself a plant?
Yeah, I didn't think that originally, but maybe now I am. Like, originally my thought wasn't going to be that way, but maybe now that's what it is. But and that also makes it a lot easier in an urban setting if I myself am a plant and I control plants. Like if I can make plants start growing as one thing,
yeah.
but also like create a plant and then do something with
Instead
it.
of having to be like, there are weeds growing in the cracks of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I control those.
Which is what I was
Right.
thinking of, is that there are weeds growing and I can make them
Yeah.
grow faster, bigger, stronger, whatever.
All
But-
those Daft Punk words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have to remember what tie is. Oh.
All right, what was I doing?
So far, this is not actually that disparate a group. Like, because you're very peace. Maggie's very conservation. Paul's very...
I'm very peace, but not to
Not
like
talk.
the thing I strive for is peace.
Right.
I'm not going to engage in violence, but that is not my focus. My focus is discovery and the thing that I'm. Building to.
You're working on something else.
Yeah.
You're still massaging.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
I am.
I really like the erasers in these pencils.
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good.
They're very good. Yeah.
You just put an ad here, Trevor, for the Sentinel Comics RPG panels.
Yeah.
They're not for sale.
But you put the ad in, and then they'll be
You
for
know
sale. By the
what?
time this comes out, it'll be like some
We'll
tie-in
sell
merchandise.
we
these.
gonna sell these?
We'll sell these for $20 a piece.
Yeah.
That's
Put them on the web store.
Yeah.
You just send us a $20 bill in the mail, and then we'll mail you a pencil.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Really,
Work it
but
out
like
on that
it's
point.
cheaper if you buy them in bulk
Yeah.
with the intention to sell them to your downline,
Right?
and then
Yeah.
you know because
So if
really
you send us like $10,000, you get a giant stack of pencils.
right you get a bunch of pencils.
But you're gonna
Actually, 4
sell
payments of
those.
But
$5.99.
what you want to focus on
For
getting
$4.99.
someone your
4
right
payments of
leg and your
$4.99
left
each,
leg
So
and getting them to sell pencils for you,
shipping.
and then
Right.
you really want to build a business is what you want to do.
why are
This
we
is what
giving
we're gonna
people
do in
body
this RPG.
parts?
Winstar multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, so here's like my character's into
That's
this.
Yeah, no, mine too. I need to pay off my debts. I'm the principal of the debtor. That's why.
Oh, you have debts.
yeah.
That's fine. We can work with that.
got this.
My clientele is very specific. You're
Nice.
all included.
This is weird. I don't. I don't like it.
Oh no.
Oh.
I'm thinking about that game we played. That was so ridiculous. The one we
Star
were just
Wars?
discussing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if that
I
was
really
the
like
first
the-
RPG you played with this crew.
I really like the one that you were running also, where we were the TIE Fighter Squadron.
Oh yeah,
That was really cool too.
Lots of killing in that one.
That was yeah. That was it.
We were the bad guys. We were playing as the bad guys.
Jody was horrified
Yeah,
in that one.
that was.
Jody was
Yeah, no, there
so
was
horrified.
Yeah, that was
lots
the
of.
worst.
like, but really like good horror. Like
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good in the game.
Yeah.
but
But
just
like
concerning.
Jody
Like,
was
very useful,
basically like
but-
the villain in a slasher movie.
Right. We were all like, oh, we're going to try to follow this thing. And we're like, we're going to go get these things. Jody, can you clear this area? And she's like, yeah, I'm on it. And we were all like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jody's going to go do the thing. And we don't know what she's up to. And we all do the thing. And meanwhile, Adam's having to GM Jody going into this place and systematically, horrifically murdering people with like
With that arc
tools.
welder.
That is an arc welder that was just
Yeah.
cutting through people. And we're all like intrigued and like
Yeah.
opening cases and searching for things.
no, it was like
and then
a
we switch back to
plasma-
her and she's got this
It's a plasma cutter.
yeah,
That was
just like
the- yeah.
Right.
just ruining
Right.
people.
just like sneaking up behind people and then plasma cutting them to death.
Right.
Right.
Basically, a sci-fi chainsaw designed for cutting metal.
And, like
She
we
was-
all, as an
was in
as an RPG group, we had a fairly standard body count for like a D&D group.
Yeah.
But it was mostly Jody, and the rest of us were
Yeah. We were like doing our own
professionals.
thing over here.
Yeah.
And then
She was a professional of that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That was
And we never
very
knew.
fun.
We
Yeah.
never, our characters never found out. We were just like,
Right.
oh, good job getting the thing. She's like, yeah, I got the thing. It's dripping. Don't worry about it. Why is it so? Never mind.
in my home game of this a couple weeks ago, they had to stop this machine from working, and my wife used her animal control to get a bunch of rats and cockroaches from the factory and have them just all run into the machine.
Okay.
And so then the machine just started sparking and then oozing rat and cockroach guts.
That sounds great.
Nice.
like in Men in Black.
Yeah.
I guess it was just cockroaches.
That's one way to stop a machine. Just fill it with creatures.
Fill with cockroaches specifically. That's true. You fill anything with enough cockroaches, it'll stop.
There's enough, yeah,
It's a certain
literally
threshold.
anything.
It's called the cockroach line.
Right.
You go over that, done.
I'm picturing a mechanic now going like, well, you're way over the cockroach line. I'm sorry, the what? The cockroach line. It means that your car is full of cockroaches.
Well, there's your problem.
You know, if you had like 7 or 8 fewer cockroaches, you'd be fine.
They have it up on the thing. It's like, you see here?
That's just writhing all cockroaches. You want maybe half that number of cockroaches at most.
At most, yeah.
Yeah.
I picked one of the personalities that actually has descending status dice, and I
Oh.
love it. And it's perfect for my character.
Great.
Like, just, you don't see that every day, and I like it.
I'm looking forward to hearing what the hell this is.
Me too. Me too.
I chose upgrade minion, and I'm calling it Miracle Grow right now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just
Very
a tiny pun, just a small one.
Is that a pun?
I guess I don't know. I guess not. I don't know.
It's a play on words.
Play on words. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I agree.
So you're more focused on making one thing well at a time than making a bunch of things?
Yeah, I think so, because that would be what it is. Because I can make a minion now using, so this is one, I chose make a minion using plants, which is like, right, even though I have part detachment, I think that part detachment will come into effect if I'm like,
Are you making minions by pulling pieces off yourself?
Yeah. So plants or part detachment? Doesn't.
I don't think it. I mean, for these purposes, I don't think it super matters.
Okay.
Like plants work. That you can do that as a plant off of yourself, or you can make another plant into a minion with that.
Yeah.
Part detachment, I think, is going to be like, I want to leave. You could say like, let your arm detach and then just grow it back or something like that.
Okay,
you know?
cool. That's okay.
You could use it for that. You could use it for leaving, like taking your ear off and putting it somewhere and listening to a conversation or something like that. But it's like it forms a little plant ear or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah, I get it. I like that idea. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Cool. I'm gonna have to like print this out so that I have this when we play too, because it has like the minion chart and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what an auxiliary page is for.
Yep. For the end of the first session, it's just going to be, feed me, Seymour.
That could be interesting. Principle of the powerless. You value training and hard work over enhanced abilities.
Yeah.
That could work really well.
Mm-hmm.
You understand
like
how
you.
to get things done without powers and how to exploit flaws in powered individuals.
Because you had to do that before you
Yeah.
before you got powers.
Yeah, I think that works best. Okay,
So
well
you
that
like
made
it.
that decision a lot easier.
So, Paul, it sounds like you were talking about like doing social stuff and things.
Yeah.
I'm entirely focused on boosts and hinders. Much more boosts than hinders, but I'm entirely focused on boosts and hinders.
That's cool. I'm still figuring out what I'm based on exactly, but I'm kind of getting there.
I also like that too. If I have the principle of chaos, the idea that I understand how to exploit flaws in other powered individuals. And I'm not really into the idea of like superpowers because I grew up around them and I liked being different and not having them.
That's interesting. Somewhere, is this like the activist team?
I don't know if it's so much activist or if it's
You're like-
just like that was what made me different.
Mm-hmm.
That was what in a family where everybody knows your parents, your siblings, whatever, that are because they're all superheroes and they're out saving the day, and like you're the one that didn't, and that made you different because you weren't.
Like Syndrome or whatever, the bad guy from The Incredibles 1. Okay, he had a really big head, so
Wait,
you've never seen
The
it.
Incredibles?
Jen,
I'm sorry.
we're gonna have to play catch up sometime.
It's fair.
You're not allowed to do any more work on this book until you watch those two movies.
I know.
New choice.
It's not like I don't want to.
No.
I just haven't had a chance.
I'll think of
I'm
a third
sorry.
movie. Steel with Shaq. You have to watch that one too now. That was just a punishment for not having seen the other two.
Not Real Steel with Hugh Jackman.
No, that movie is awesome.
It is awesome.
It's really cool.
I've seen that one.
What? Wait.
I kind of hated how much I liked Real Steel.
I've
It's
seen
really,
that one.
it's really fun.
I was like, oh, this is going to be dumb. And it wasn't. Like, it was a little dumb,
Yeah.
but not as dumb as I thought it would
Yeah.
be.
It's
Like-
the most interesting Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie that I could
Yeah.
possibly
Yeah.
hope to watch.
When the bar is really low, succeeding isn't hard.
That means my archetype has to be physical preference. Okay.
What are you thinking right now, Jen?
I like tacos.
Debating. So because I decided to go with, I was trying to debate between which archetype to choose, but the physical powerhouse is the one that gave me the principle of the powerless, so that's what I'm going with. So I'm looking at my powers and trying to figure out what I want to pull out of that, and one of them's, there's leaping, which seemed like a pretty logical one to take, but then there's an option of like density control, and that's what I was looking at and trying to decide if that would be.
Well, you can also, if you wanted, I don't know what your other option was, but if you wanted to take that one, if you liked that better, you can take that principle as your retcon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can know right now that you can do it later, and so you can just skip the retcon when you get to that step.
I'm in the retcon stage right now and doing that very thing. I decided on my principles, and then I was looking through the retcons, and I was like, there is this other principle I want more.
Yeah.
So I'm changing one of mine.
That's the most common retcon
Oh, is it?
that I've encountered right now.
The two that I've seen the most are either get a third red ability or bump up your status die. Bumping up your red status die size is really nice.
I see the principle change a lot.
That's good though.
A lot of times
I want that variety.
It's because the way that my players have chosen has gotten them 2 out of esoteric.
Oh, interesting.
And they're like,
I got
I don't
2 out
want-
of identity,
Oh.
which I was happy with. I liked discovery and peace, but there's another one that just makes even more sense.
Or
for my
like they'll have
characters.
like a very specific idea for their character, so they want like this specific principle.
Sure.
You know.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I've got a question about the rules.
Uh-oh.
So it says gain 2 of the following yellow abilities that you have the associated psychic power for.
Okay.
I only have 1 psychic power.
Yes. Which page is this?
It is page 90.
Page
Under the
90.
psychic archetype.
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on just a second.
So I
but
have
you
only
don't
1
have-
psychic power. It's post-cognition, and there's only
And you got it from the beginning of the step?
Yes.
And that's the only psychic
It's the
power you've
only one
taken?
I've got taken. Yep.
Okay.
So you took 1 from the psychic power of the thing, but
Yep.
you didn't get 1 from a different step, and you didn't take another psychic power
Correct.
here.
That's a good question. I've never gotten to
But it
this
says-
point of psychic.
But there isn't another
There's
yellow
one
ability.
for each.
Right, there's
psychic
1 for
thing,
each.
yeah.
but I
You
have
could
only
use
one.
psychic analysis.
That's a mental quality.
Yeah, you have.
Okay, right, of course.
Right.
But this is not specifically one that I have. So that's the answer.
The answer
that's
is
the one
if you
that
don't
take.
have 2, then there is that backup.
So what happens if you don't have a mental quality also at that point?
Then you would need to do a retcon of some sort. I will put that through the ringer. Oh, but you would get a mental quality through. You can get a mental quality through your dice step at the beginning.
Right,
So
you can.
You can.
You
So
can,
if
but
you're
of
so you're
course.
so you
Right.
took the psychic archetype, but
Yeah.
only have 1 psychic power.
Correct, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It is an interesting thing because you can get yourself in a situation. Because
Yeah.
I believe I do have a mental. I think that's a mental quality.
What are your qualities?
Insight, creativity,
Insight's
and
mental.
social. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And creativity might be.
I think it might be 2.
No, creativity is insight. Isn't Insight's social? But
Creativity
is
is.
mental.
Good.
Yeah.
And self-discipline. So I've got
Okay,
2.
so you've got
Yeah.
So you're
So
fine.
that's fine.
Yeah,
But like I could in
it's fine,
theory
but yeah,
Yeah.
not have any.
you could. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Which psychic power do you have?
Post-cognition.
Post-cognition.
Oh, me too.
Well, I'm not taking that one.
We should all just be like.
No, if you've got post I might
Let's just all dwell
I
in the
might
past.
switch mine because that doesn't make a huge difference to me. I'll consider it. Is post-cognition important to your build?
A bit.
Okay.
I like it.
Yep,
It's like,
good.
that's
It is
fine.
it is a
It's
minor
not-
side thing for my character,
Right,
so
yeah.
I can switch that out.
My minor side thing, interestingly, is shape-shifting.
Mine is not. I always look the same.
Just like passively. You're just like, by the way.
Yeah, but it's just a little bit like I've got kind of like it's sort of I did that first, and then like my character like went off to the right, and so now I'm like, oh, now I see where I'm. It's interesting what's forming. So
Yeah.
I will, once I'm done, I will post-cognitively look back and say, this is the story. This is what's going on.
So Adam, I used to be Discovery and Peace.
Yeah.
My principles are now Business
Business.
and Peace. Business time.
Well, okay. Are you and Maggie going to knock it along?
It's business. It's...
Now we're not.
That's fine.
I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't get along. I don't have the business of destroying plants.
You have a
But, like-
business that specifically just destroys plants
No.
for no benefit at
Yeah.
all? Like,
We're a mowing business, except we
Yeah.
only do it when people don't want us to.
you just have a bunch of furnaces that you just
Plants,
put the
yeah.
plants into the furnace, and that's it. There's like, you don't turn them into paper or maple syrup or any of that.
Or maple syrup.
Where do you think maple syrup
I
comes
know,
from?
but like
Maggie,
that's just
don't act like that's a ridiculous thing to say.
No, I mean, you could have gone weirder, but it was not the most normal thing you could have said. I'm not wrong.
Toilet paper and maple syrup.
Right.
Those are things that come from plants.
But you could have one company
Margaret?
that reasonably made both of those, right?
Yeah.
Because you would plant the trees, you'd grow them until they are ideal maple syrup extraction
Right.
age.
You tap
Then
them.
once they age beyond that, then you make some toilet paper.
Right.
I
Cut them
think it
down.
takes
make
too
toilet paper.
long to age bond.
No, you
beyond
got a
But you have a
huge
they're
abundance.
cycling.
Yeah, you
right,
gotta have like a
every other
farm,
year
a
you
maple
plant
farm.
acres of maple trees, right?
Yeah.
So then you cycle through, and you're probably on like a 30-year
There's
cycle.
somebody in the board game industry that owns a maple factory and farm. You know that, right?
No?
Okay. Well, there is, and I'll ask him about this. What they do with the trees when they're no longer ripe maple-making trees.
Yeah. That's good.
Zach Denencourt has maple trees. He doesn't own like a farm. He just has like 10 maple trees that he taps.
One of the guys at Repos Games, I can't remember what his position is. I think they call him a dream maker or something because he's a designer and like, I'm not sure. I think they have like a name like that for him. But he owns a maple syrup farm and factory that he's had in his family for a long time, and that's like his main form of money.
I have 2 maple trees in my backyard.
He keeps trying to give me
That I
maple
don't tap.
syrup, and I
You need
have to
like
tell him I don't like it.
about 10 to
Yeah,
get
to
enough.
make any amount.
Yeah.
Because you got to boil it and
Right.
I know a lot about making maple syrup because of Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, okay.
Specifically in the first book, Little House in the Big Woods. They make maple syrup.
I know,
Gross.
yeah.
You don't like maple syrup?
I was also
houses
very
or the
scared of
woods.
wolves from that book.
Yes.
Because,
But that
so
did
like
do
a
that.
major
Yeah.
plot point is
Right.
they think that their dad's going to die because
Yeah.
he's out there with wolves.
Yep. No,
Just like
wolves
I
are
had no
terrifying.
idea the wolves were so scary. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They are if you like if you like walk through an uninhabited woods
A dark,
for
uninhabited woods,
like
yeah.
miles and miles.
Yeah.
Like I think
A
if
few things
you
were terrifying.
right, like if you decided to walk by yourself through northern Canada
Yeah,
in the winter, you'd have to worry about wolves.
right. Yes.
My high school chemistry teacher was on the U.S. Geological Survey in Alaska, and they had to worry a lot about polar bears because in the winter, the polar bears would legit just hunt them.
Oh. And polar bears will hunt to not eat also.
Yeah.
Because they're like mean.
They hunted to eat specifically. 'cause
Right,
it
but
was
they
winter.
hunt
They'll-
to eat
yeah,
and
they'll
they
hunt,
also
yeah.
hunt for sport,
Yeah, it was,
essentially.
there was a scientist who got killed by polar bears.
Wow.
And part of his thing, yeah, it was like,
Yikes.
he would tell stories about polar bears.
Trying to think of what sort of mask or he would use. Actually, I don't even know that he,
What sort of what?
mask he would use because if he has a secret identity, he needs to protect his identity. But he's going to look notably different.
Does,
Like-
does it have another form?
No, just like when he's not in superhero mode, he's kind of like he's old. He's like in his late 60s.
Okay.
And so he kind of
I like to make old characters.
I do like to make old characters. When's the last time I made an old character?
The wizard in my other game.
God, that's been a minute. This is a very different character.
Okay.
But yeah. So but this guy, like he's kind of old, and, but then if he's like, oh no, I have to like do some like, oh no, there's bad guys and stuff. He can like straighten up and like has an outfit that is.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. You can do the.
So
you can do the.
Yeah.
Glasses too. Like
Yeah.
if there's an old person that's hunched over and has thick glasses.
Yeah.
And then
takes up, stands up, and he's like
straight up and like
and changes his outfit from being like one sort of outfit to a very different sort of outfit. I think it should be fine.
That is just as good as wearing a mask.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. Health.
You gonna roll for it or
I'll roll for it.
that? Okay.
I'm gonna roll for it.
You can re-roll once. I let my players re-roll once.
I'm not going to though. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I don't have any athletic powers or mental qualities.
Nice. You're getting yourself into it.
Yes.
You sure you don't want to re-roll once?
And the roll of a d8,
Yeah.
5.
All right.
Dang it. Lower than that. But I'm going to stick with what I rolled.
That's still pretty low.
Sure is.
Considered
23.
23 health.
23 health.
Oh my god. All right, so I just need to have you fight a bunch of D12 lieutenants that are all gang up on you.
That would be fine. If I go down fighting, so be it. Hopefully someone else won't have to as a result.
So are you all done then?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you want to tell me about who you got here?
I don't want to color everybody else's. I mean, they'll steal from me.
They
We've
won't
heard both
steal
Maggie
from
and
you.
Jen.
They're way
Rampant
too far
thievery.
way too far in to steal from you at this point.
So, about 10 years ago now, in some back alley in this city that we know that we're in, the name of which we all know.
Right.
Right.
Of course. This city.
Any city works for my character, it's fine. Any, like, machinations is fine. So in some back alley, an old, but not as old as he is now, younger by roughly a decade, man woke up wearing fine clothes and holding a needle and having no memory of who he was or how he got there or anything.
A needle.
What
He's
type of
holding a needle, like a sewing needle.
Okay, just
A
making
needle,
sure.
not a pin, a needle.
Okay.
Arya Stark's sword.
No, that is not the needle, not proper name needle.
One of her swords. She just has like a bunch from the others.
And they're all called
Or like a
needles?
syringe.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what type of... You woke up
A
in an
sewing
alley
needle.
with a needle. What type of needle?
Make your plants. You got them.
Oh, wrong time.
And he, like, much the way with comic book amnesia situations, he knew English,
Yeah.
knew how to speak it and read it and all that. Didn't know his own name, but looked inside his suit and saw a couple different names stitched in there, and so took those as his own. Only later did he learn those are the names of the brands of the suits.
Obviously.
But
It's like, I must be called Giorgio Armani.
no, he thought that his name, what did I get? Settle on. This one took me a minute. His name was Etro Burberry, but he just goes by Mr.
He's wearing
EB
a
now.
Burberry suit? That's so fancy.
I said fine
He
clothes.
said
How are your plants?
He said fancy. That was like the first thing that he
That's
said when he
just
woke
like-
up.
Okay.
Kids these days.
I know.
Right.
These are rich
They don't
benefactors.
respect their elders.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's very true.
So he's this guy, He's not really sure what's going on, but he has this needle, and he like is like, well, I don't like this needle here. I don't care about it. And he like sets it down, like whatever. I'm in this pile of trash in this alley.
Yeah.
Must have been in that trash. So I said, walks away and like is walking around like trying to figure out what's going on, and idly puts his hand in his pocket and pricks his finger because sure enough that needle's there.
Yeah.
He can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
He throws the needle away.
It's linked to him somehow.
At various points in his life, he's like put it in a box in a safe in his apartment and leaves.
Tried all these
and
things.
no, that needle is always with him. And the needle, which
Why does he have an apartment? Why does he have an apartment?
he gets one later.
Okay, later.
He gets one later. So like over
Later,
time,
okay.
over the next 10 years.
All right, I see.
But the thing that he finds that he is very good at
Yeah.
is summing up a person. But
Okay.
like summing up a person to a degree of looking at a person and knowing like, just having a feeling, this is a good person. And like being right.
Yeah.
Like just having the measure of a man by looking at them.
Okay.
And that this needle like draws on him pulls on him to do something with that. And so he begins making clothes.
Okay.
And he's like I have this needle, I have thread and fabric, and I'll sew things together. Okay, sure, I can make clothes. And then one day he meets a person in this city that is a vigilante, that is a secret identity crime fighter, and he can tell that about them. And he, through happenstance, ends up making a superhero outfit for them.
Okay.
And this is who he is. Now he's been well established in the city for many, many years. He's the guy that makes the superhero outfits for all the people that wear them.
Okay.
And so that's why I wanted the quality of vigilante lore. That like, he knows about all the superheroes because he's dressed them at some point in time.
He's the guy.
Right.
To go to.
And occasionally there have been situations in which he's like, I know where all the superheroes are. I don't know. I'm not running this network or anything. They know to come to me and I can help them out. And he won't work for. It's like somebody walks in the door and he's like, I don't like the look of you. Out.
I don't make costumes for villains.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so so he's been doing that for a long time. But there have been times in which something bad is happening. He sees a bad person going to do a thing. There's no heroes around, and so he's like, I guess I have to do something about that. But this needle that he has is very powerful. It doesn't just have the power to stick with him. It has the power to like. He is good at making clothes. It must be a skill that he learned in his youth that he doesn't remember, but like his hands just know how to make clothes. But this needle, he's able to make clothes that like fit to the right hero. This hero is a hero that is into these kinds of things. He can make an outfit that is right for them.
Okay.
And like it's partly his intuition and partly his connection with this needle making. So like that's why he's a gadgeteer. Is that the outfits he's making for people are essentially gadgets, but they're just made of thread. There's nothing. They're not made of special molecules or anything,
Right.
and yet they do what they need to do for these heroes.
Great.
And so there have been times where he's had to straighten up, and like he doesn't fight with the needle. Like he uses it as a focus for his abilities. He can do some mild teleportation actually by folding space, much like you fold fabric, and then stepping through it.
Right.
Not like great distances. It has to
Right.
be like very known, very safe teleportation. But he can do that for himself or like one other person. Shove them through the folds of space. But he's all just about like helping bring out the strengths in somebody else.
Great.
And his hero name is Bespoke.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
And so he has the principle of business and peace because he's not going to fight. He doesn't have a problem with people fighting. People should stand up for what they believe in, but what he believes in that he's not going to fight.
Yeah. Great.
And all of his abilities have cool names.
Do you want to tell me his ability name? Is that what you said that?
I mean, whatever you want.
Yep. Go ahead.
Can I double check that I did hero health points right?
Yes.
Before we get into...
Yeah. So at the top of...
Yeah. So I did so it's 8 plus whatever I roll on my...
You don't roll.
I don't roll this?
No, you just do what it says.
Okay.
So it says you do... Okay. There you go. So you add up the numbers. 8, the maximum value of your red status die. So you don't roll that.
Oh, okay.
So 8
plus.
which is just an 8.
Yeah, and
your
then-
red status die is a 10.
Yep.
So we'll add 10 to that, so we're at 18. What's the next line?
And then
the
it's
maximum
gonna be
value of one of your powers or mental qualities.
I don't have those.
You
So.
don't have any, so 4, so you're at 22.
Okay.
And then the roll of a d8, or 4 if you want to do that.
Okay.
Are you going to take 4, or are you going to...
I'll roll.
You can
Okay, so roll.
Reroll once if you wish.
I rolled 1 twice.
That's fine. Roll it on the table. You reroll ones.
5.
Okay, so you're at 27.
Thanks.
And then do you understand how that chart works?
Yeah, I do get how the chart works.
Great. How did you think you came up with 31?
Because I rolled.
But you
Stuff.
can't. But I remember how we just took the maximum
Yeah.
of everything.
I don't know. I guess because I don't know now.
Yeah.
I must have done math wrong. Sorry.
What
No,
are
I
they
just wanna make-
teaching kids in school.
I just
No,
want to make
just
sure
like-
that you have all the health that you should have.
Yeah. That's why I had to double check.
I'm gonna talk to your teacher. Make sure you get an F on your math report card.
First of all, I definitely did.
18. You got 4 there. And the roll. Yeah, I have no
I
idea how you
think
got
I
31.
added
It's
the
impossible.
8 twice on accident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, he has a tailoring shop downtown. It's just a small little hole in the wall shop that he does tailoring and alteration for anybody that comes in.
And then there's like a secret back room.
And then sometimes people come in, he's like, "Oh, hold on."
Yeah.
You know, and his EB's tailoring and alterations.
EB's tailoring and alterations.
He's short. He's 5'7".
5'7".
Yeah, he's 5'7", standing up straight.
So,
So he's like
hunched,
5'4".
probably-
Like, yeah, he's just,
Yeah.
he's got the armbands with
So
needles in them, a little bit of
little-
chalk here for
yeah.
making him.
Got the pin sticking out of his lip.
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Measuring tape.
Mm-hmm.
What are your abilities called?
Oh, well, since you asked. Since you asked.
Since you want to tell me so bad.
He's got an ability to boost himself called Whole Cloth.
Okay.
He
Excellent.
has the ability to look at 2 of his allies and create a boost for each of them called Made to Measure. He has a reaction in the green zone that after he rolls his dice pool, he can lose a health to reroll the whole thing called Rethread.
Okay.
In the yellow zone, he has an action called Selvage Edge, in which he hinders someone using his fancy needle, and he recovers health equal to the min die that he rolls. He has, I mentioned it earlier, he has an ability called Sevenfold, which is a reaction that if a hero in the yellow red zone would take damage, he can defend by rolling his teleportation die by like.
Nice. Yeah. I'm out of there. Yeah.
Yep, and he has an ability, a yellow ability called Alterations, that he changes a bonus to a penalty or vice versa. He just straight up switches it. And then in the red zone, he doesn't do anything different. Like that's the stuff he does.
Yeah.
In the red zone, he has 2 inherent abilities. One of them is called Quick Stitch. At the start of your turn, change 1 penalty in the scene into a bonus. So like in the
You
red
just
zone,
get
he's like, no. That's not quite how I want that.
Right.
And then he's another inherent ability called Common Thread that whenever he uses an ability, he also takes a basic action with the mid die.
Oh wow.
So he's doing an extra thing
That's great. Yeah.
because he's moving quick. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. I really like that. It's a very unique concept.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something like I started in, and that's why like blank slate. I'm like, okay, so he's some person wakes up somewhere. Who are they? What are they doing next? And
Yeah.
like I don't know a lot about. I don't have a specific amount planned about who he was.
Okay.
He doesn't know. Like
You as a player don't know what the needle is either, or
no.
Okay.
No, and that's something that I wanted that you and I can chat more about at some point. But I don't have specific designs on where that's going.
Great.
So I wanted to be. I started formulating, and then I'm like, no. I want to be open to what happens, so that
So that you are surprised by some things.
Yeah.
Like if there's a revelation about your character.
I want to
like
be.
that's-
If I decide what that needle is, if I decide where he came from, then it means that like if the wrong revelation comes up and I'm resistant to it, I'm like, no, that's not
Right.
what happens with my character. I don't want that moment. I want instead the moment of like, oh, like I want to be as surprised as he is.
Okay.
So
Great.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Marjoram, are you ready to go? Do you have your character done?
Everything's done, but I'm thinking about like costume and stuff right now. But I
Okay.
could like
Well, do
muse
you
out
wanna-
loud about that.
Yeah, you want to talk me through who you are?
Yeah. So I don't have my name yet. I was trying to think of my alias name. I was trying to think of a good it's gonna be doctor something. I decided to make them a little older, so they've got a doctorate or in
So,
biology.
Like, a little older, like 30.
Yeah, they're 30.
An old person.
Well, originally I was
like
thinking
30.
of college.
You know, a little older.
Originally
like,
I was thinking of college
30.
student, so
Yeah.
this is a little older than my college student.
I definitely consider myself a little older.
yeah.
I consider you a little older too. Anyways,
I'm a little older.
A little older.
That's what I'd say if I were to describe myself.
In Peter Pan, in the book Peter Pan,
Yeah.
at the very end, when Peter Pan comes back through the window to see Wendy, and she's got her kids there, and Peter's like, "Hey, I'm back, Wendy. Come away with
go."
you. Let's go." She goes, "Peter, I am ever so much more than 20." And I love that so much as like,
Yeah.
somebody's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm ever so much more than 20.
Because 20 is like old
Right.
to Peter Pan. Yeah.
Ever so much more than 20.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my granddaughter asleep in that bed.
so anyways,
That's from Hook.
well, we can cut that, right, guys? So that whole. Oh, okay.
Oh, if people don't like the stories that I tell, they can leave.
Some of us work here and we
This
can't
is
leave.
our strand. We don't cut what we say.
Some of us don't have
the letters
option.
page.
Oh my god! Secretly, this has all been an episode of the letters page.
We don't have to record tomorrow now. Hey.
They definitely
So, anyways, so it's Doctor something. I'm not sure what yet. That's gonna be her just her alias. I came up with a name for her hero name, but I might want to change that. It's Floral Phantom.
Okay.
But that is maybe a little too silly. Maybe I want it to be something a little
Is
more.
it floral? Is it floral spelled with a PH or phantom spelled with an F?
Still with an F currently.
So then I'm into it.
I'm not like that's. I don't think that
So
that's silly.
her
really,
eyes-
Like,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. As long as it's not too dumb for you.
No, I think that's pretty effective, honestly.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
That's better.
Floral with a PH.
Floral.
But phantom with an F.
Actually, it's a PhD.
Are you just going to
yes.
well actually people about plants this entire game?
Oh man,
Probably.
you should.
I should probably learn
God, I
a lot
love
more
that.
about plants very quickly.
That would help.
Yeah,
See, like,
I will do that.
Just
I'll do
read a bunch of
research.
Wikipedia. Just
Yeah.
like cram study
Yeah, I'll have
Wikipedia
to learn a
articles.
lot more about tailoring between now and when we play.
Is that why you made this character? Because it's basically you.
I'm not this guy at all. I don't have any tailoring skills.
But you know.
No,
about
but you know everything about it.
That's true. I do know everything. Go on. Tell me more.
That's
No,
really
I hate
you.
it.
You,
that. All right. Let
you
me
just said to
tell me about her
Christopher,
character, please.
where's being recorded? But you know everything.
I know.
Which is really
Listen,
unfortunate.
I have recordings
Look.
of him saying, "You're right, I was wrong." So
Enough.
Oh,
that's all I wanted in my
Enough
life.
me talking about me. You talk about me for a while.
God. So, yeah, I'm a doctor, and my name's Floral Phantom as my superhero name. I used to have brown eyes, but now they're green. And I used to have, I had brown eyes and brown hair and, olive toned skin, maybe, a little bit of, a Mediterranean look or something. And now my skin has changed to, it's really pale, so I basically just look super pale all the time, but maybe, a hint of, green in there.
Greenish, yeah.
And then my eyes are green now.
I
What?
saw that move. We're not.
I'm sorry, I did.
You've been doing it backwards.
Still very sleepy.
It's okay. Oh, I
Some
get
people
it.
just got back from Germany, and boy, are their arms tired.
Yeah. Long flight. Black and green hair. So
Okay.
she,
Like yours right now.
like mine right now, because it was convenient.
Yeah.
Also, in my head, my story is that she tried to cover up the green and she couldn't get everything. She just can't get it to go away.
It doesn't take dye well
yeah.
enough, so she
So
So she's
dyed it-
constantly dyeing her
Yeah.
hair black because she's just it has to look a little. I have to look a little normal.
Yeah.
Because she knows that she's just oh, I like wearing colored contacts now. It's super in, guys.
Green
And
eyes is not a. People can have green eyes.
people can have green eyes, but these
But
aren't
if
normal.
your
And my eyes
are
were
usually
brown before.
and they're suddenly
So
bright green.
and they're
then-
not. Yeah,
yeah.
they're not normal.
Yeah,
They're not crazy, but they're I don't know. They're not like this.
Are you
green.
like
This.
mildly,
But yeah.
mildly
Yeah.
cosplaying your own character right now?
Intense.
Is this what you're doing?
Mildly, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I always like having green in my hair, so
But you're like everyday cosplaying the character you just made.
yeah,
But like
Right.
yeah.
you did it.
like same, but
and
not
she-
intentionally.
She used to need to wear glasses, so she wears glasses still, but she doesn't need them anymore, and so she just has like. They like have no lenses in them or something. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You can get lenses in our
I know you can. I just like the idea that they just have no lenses. And people are like, "Wow, your glasses are so clean." And she's like, "Yeah."
And then they just poke your eye through the.
Side note, I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
It's like a fashion thing, and instead of
Oh.
just getting ones that are regular clear lenses, they're like lensless glasses because they think they look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not that dumb. She doesn't do that. Anyways, her background is she's an academic. So she's a biology professor at a local university, or she was, and she like helped out with a bunch of research things across the city. So she helped underprivileged kids across the city with research and stuff. So she's always constantly researching. So she has the principle of the lab and also the principle of stealth, which comes from her camouflage abilities. She's also a natural leader. And she also has the quality of leadership, and that's kind of because she's been an activist previously and also a teacher. And she has a lab that she goes to because I gave her the principal of the lab, so I wanted her to have a research facility. But I think it's going to be like, she used to help out with an after-school program, and they had a lab. But like since everything happened, that program's just shut down,
Is
but
she
she can
not
still
a
get into the lab.
professor anymore?
I think,
Or-
yeah, I think she isn't a professor anymore. I think she was like,
What happened?
I don't know. I don't want to. I think that there was some type of really bad accident in the lab, and that's what caused it. So like
Okay.
whatever lab they were using for like she had kids that she taught or whatever, that was an after school thing. So maybe not even her college students' lab.
Yeah.
I think it exploded and a bunch of chemicals got on her, and so very much. Well,
Right.
very much
That's
like
worse.
what happened to Poison Ivy, where like something happens in the lab, there's some sort of accident,
Right.
and now she has the floral and fauna powers, but also all the kids died, so the program shut down.
But no fauna.
What
yeah,
about-
it's no fauna. You're right. Sorry.
What about like doing something at a protest that you were like out protesting like some toxic waste dump or something
Oh, that'd be
like
cool.
that? And then they were like, you're like, shut it down, and they were like, well, shut it down in your face with this bulldozer, and then it sprays on you or something, and kills all your
Yeah.
students.
Yeah, some bad
Like-
thing happened. So like I don't teach
Okay.
anymore. That actually might be even better, where it's like something that's a little bit public. So like I don't teach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of the kids were either hurt or injured, like hurt or died, and now I have these powers.
Okay. So what are you doing for what's like a day in your life like that you're not out fighting crime then?
I think that I'm trying to research how to be normal again. Like
You want to fix yourself?
I want to fix myself because I can't. I don't think that I can be a part of like the activist community. I can't be a front person when I have these powers and stuff. I don't think that people will take me seriously or like historically in comic books and stuff when heroes get too like if people think that a hero is too powerful, they no longer like. There's just like some issues there, like the superhero problem of like, or the Superman problem.
Yeah,
it's not exactly like that, but
I think it's less that you're worried about being too powerful, and more that you're like, and a thing that was important to you with your activism stuff was being a part of humanity,
And
you're
now-
worried that you're losing your humanity.
Yeah.
I think that's a much more personal. Like, you're not worried that people think you're too powerful.
yeah,
That's
no,
weird. You're
it's
worried
not that. It's
Right.
yeah, it's more of the other
you're
where it's
losing your
like
humanity.
I need to be able to do what I was doing before, and I don't think that I can the way that I am now. And maybe like I probably also have like a lot of remorse for whatever happened to my students, and so I just want to
Yeah.
solve this problem.
So what is so you don't have a job then?
I don't have a job,
Do you
but
just live in a park because you're a plant?
no,
Can you photosynthesize?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, like do you
remember
need
that book where that kid turns green?
Yeah.
It's like a kid's book.
I don't remember that one.
It was
No.
and he had the leaves.
And he like makes a concoction so that he photosynthesizes.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was awesome. It's like
Is this like a Goosebumps or like
no,
is this like a
It's like but it's a book you read in like 3rd grade.
okay?
A bad case of stripes. That's not it.
No.
I don't know that. I've never heard of that.
But yeah, no, I.
The Giver.
That's it.
The
I do
Giver,
remember that
classic
one.
book about the boy and his relationship with the tree.
Right.
The Giving Tree.
No, I think that I had a lab that was part of like my after after
Yeah.
school program thing that is now shut down. They're just not
Okay.
using it anymore. I'm
It's
not
like
around.
abandoned, so you sneak into there.
And I sneak into there, and I live there, and also continue to do research there.
Okay.
And I think that I still I don't know, send people that are my activist friends notes still where I'm this company's still doing bad stuff, this is still happening, so that I keep the activist groups that I was involved with going. But I'm not no, I can't attend that protest. I'm
You're I have
sick
to fix
or
myself first.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Paul. Top Secret is the name of the book. When Alan Brewster, a fourth grader, decides to discover human photosynthesis for his school science project, his irritable teacher, Miss Green, calls his idea ridiculous and assigns a lipstick project instead.
Yeah.
His parents are kind but unsupportive, but Alan is undeterred, especially when his tender and wise grandfather encourages him to pursue his research. Alan discovers the biggest difference between hemoglobin and chlorophyll is that the former contains iron, while the latter contains magnesium. So he decides to ingest foods that have high levels of magnesium.
Oh, if you just eat magnesium, you'll start photosynthesizing.
Yeah,
He
liver.
mixes salt water from an aquarium with peanut butter, Cocoa Puffs, raw liver, and Mexican refried beans, runs the mixture through the blender, and drinks it.
Yep. I remember this book.
After tinkering with his formula, he discovers that his skin has turned green, his taste buds have disappeared, he doesn't need to eat, and he craves sunlight. But then, Alan faces numerous new obstacles. Obviously.
What?
No one but his grandfather believes that he's discovered human photosynthesis, and he gets aphids and starts sprouting roots.
That's horrifying.
It's great.
That's
I
not a
remember
kid's book that I've ever heard of.
Well, it came out
It was a long time ago
decades
because we're quite old.
before
Yeah.
you
why.
were
You were a
born.
little-
Is that
A little-
that sounds like a Beverly Cleary era
It is.
Yeah.
sort of
Jen, we're not a little older. We're ever so much more than 30. 30 is a little older.
I hope you guys are proud of yourselves.
Oh, all the time. Like constantly?
I'm toying with this idea that whatever my costume is, and I just want to think about it a little bit more. Whatever my costume is, it's probably just plants that I grow for my skin that cover my it just covers my face up in some
Oh
way.
yeah, you could get a really cool floral mask. thing
Exactly.
that,
So I don't
that-
actually I just make my own costume, and maybe it can change into whatever I think it should be. So maybe sometimes if I know that I'm gonna go close combat, maybe I have bark, so that it's harder.
Your bark
Oh,
your
sure.
bite, I've heard.
You have no idea.
But if you need to move around more or sneak around more, then you do something
Yeah.
more.
So I think maybe my costume can change and is just a part of me.
Sure.
Yeah. But I didn't know if that was a really silly idea. So
No, I think that's really cool. I think it's a great character.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything silly about that beyond it being a very comic booky thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, duh.
good job.
Thanks.
I also need to change.
I think it's really cool.
I had a question about one of the characters in here, one of the arts, because I didn't know
Oh, most of those arts
They're
are
just
just of
made
rando characters.
it. Oh, okay.
Ask
Yeah.
your question.
But go ahead.
Well, one, I did really like this very anime
Oh,
picture
yeah.
right there. I really like that. But, and this one reminded me of the bad guy from Sonic.
Dr. Robotnik?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
Are you thinking about this guy? Is that the guy that looks
I'm not. You're right. I'm not thinking of that guy.
this guy here? He looks like this?
Oh wait, but
He looks like this?
the one where he does it, where he's more
Jim
real
Carrey.
life.
So Jim
The
Carrey.
Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
Specifically. Okay.
Okay.
Cultural touchstones.
Well.
There was one. Where was he? Well, one. I really like this character.
Yeah.
That art's really cool. There was one that was a wall crawling type character that I
Oh,
thought
the
was
slime
neat.
guy?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That's at social qualities is what
Yeah.
that is. Yeah. If you.
I mean, a lot of the art's really cool, but those were the ones where I was like, I don't think I've seen that before. Which is a lot of these actually, but
I was going to say, yeah.
That's the.
Because a lot of those are ones you pointed out are other artists.
yeah.
There it is. 126.
Oh, that guy.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
in trading out from post-cognition,
Yeah, that guy.
That's one of mine.
I like it a lot. I need to look at the rock.
that'll fix that.
Okay. What did you trade out post cognition for?
Telepathy, and I made it just under a D6, and
Yeah.
that deals with his knowing a person.
Right, I
What
can,
I'm doing
assess.
much more for
Yeah.
that. The thing is, I just have an extra power that I just don't need because for him, it's much more of a fact of insight
Yeah.
for his quality and lightning calculator for his power.
Okay.
Where he looks at somebody and goes, "Oh, you're like 46 to the chest, and you brutally stabbed somebody last night." And it's like, okay, one of those two things, it's impressive that you know. The other one, it's impossible.
Right.
So, yeah.
Paul and Jen are still working.
I'm just finishing up doing
Okay.
the retconning.
Okay.
Did I mess up? Should I have more powers than I do?
How do you have only 3 powers?
That's what I was just noticing, and now I'm gonna go double check.
Do you want me to walk through it with you?
That
Yeah.
can happen, but
Yeah, it can happen, but it's not common.
Okay, so I'll just go back to the beginning.
So
and
just
double check.
with each one, let's go to your characteristic and then see.
Yeah. So my first one, I'm gonna go to backgrounds first.
So backgrounds isn't going to give you any powers. It only gives you qualities.
Okay.
So from there,
Which is where I got
yeah,
leadership.
and so you got 2 from there.
Yeah, and
Great.
criminal underworld.
So then go to accident for your power source. An accident is going to say assign all the dice you rolled to the end of the background
so
step.
you
So-
need to remember what dice you
right.
Yeah.
So my guess is because you chose that you ran into theft.
2. I only had 2.
Right. So you should have gotten 2 powers from there.
Yeah, which
And
would
so
have
let's say
been
that's
plants
plants
and camo.
and camouflage. So plants comes from the materials power, and camouflage comes from self-control because you did invisibility but changed it to that. So that's where those 2 are. And then from there it says you get a D12 and a D6 and go on to the next step,
Archetype.
which you took elemental manipulator.
Elemental manipulators.
So first thing you do there, it says assign one of the dice you rolled at the end to an elemental or an energy power. Part detachment is none of those. So the first thing that it says you have to do is assign one of the 2 dice you got.
It said I could. There was a reason.
If
that
you
I
already
could-
have an elemental energy power, you can skip it, but you don't already have an elemental
Did you not
energy
do
power.
mini maker?
I did. Oh, I did. I did do mini maker
Okay,
instead.
so
That's
you
why.
just wrote,
The-
yeah.
I just wrote the wrong thing
Okay,
because
yeah.
I switched
So
it.
assign one of the dice to one of these powers. So you
So
assigned 1 to
part-
part detachment, and then you assigned the rest of the dice to these qualities. So you assigned 1 to science.
Yeah,
All right,
and that was the 2.
and that's it. There you go.
And then I got 1.
So you're fine.
I made that.
So the main thing is
I need to switch that,
Your
yeah.
characteristic.
I forgot I changed it.
No worries. So yeah, you're fine.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure. I looked at yours and was like, oh, did I mess up?
Nope.
Some things end up more focused.
Yep.
Cool.
What's your unique quality? Yes.
Measure twice, cut once.
Measure twice.
That's cute.
And what's yours?
Activist.
Okay. Good.
Now I might want to come up with something a little more clever. I don't know. That's pretty
It's
clever.
tough. It's tough to be clever.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. Those are 2 very interesting characters. Can't wait to see what the slowpokes come up with.
And the nice thing, because you said we needed to have some way that we know other people.
You got an easy way.
Yes.
To do it. Yeah.
I maybe don't know you because I've never needed to make clothes for you because you
Yeah.
do your own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But
well, we're gonna do this. I'll pick someone. I won't pick you because you're an easy out.
yeah.
But I'll pick someone and we'll do it initiative way.
Sure.
That way.
Pick someone for what?
For you.
Connections.
For connections to other characters. But it'll be after everyone describes
Explains
who they
themselves,
are.
yeah. Nice. I need to retype this and come up with new names. The only one that I changed 2.
Go ahead. What are they?
Rooted, attack using plants, hinder that same target with a min, with my min die. And then Miracle Grow, which allows me to boost one of
Yeah.
my minions. And I'm going to think on it and figure out some stuff. I chose some things like, I think Reflective Burst sounds a lot like Rage Ribbons, where you can like go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to be plants, so it's going to be something like that, where it's like vines shooting out and hitting people. But yeah.
I was going to do a Latin name for the needle that was like, this is the name of the needle, but I don't know the name of the
don't
needle.
know it.
So I'm just calling it the knowing needle because it knows.
Yeah.
Needle of knowledge.
Nope, it's not a needle of knowledge. It's the knowing needle. It's not a sewing needle. It's a knowing needle.
Yeah.
It's what I do.
That's really good. It's really good. I like it.
You guys are going to be at PAX Unplugged for Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
We get in Thursday night, I think.
Yeah.
You get in Thursday night?
Yeah.
Do you too? Okay. Cool.
Friday morning, but either way, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I was just thinking about when we want to do a session with Rick, because he would like to record another session with us.
Okay, well, let's get on the schedule.
Yeah, get it,
Yeah.
set up a time, whatever you want.
You guys don't have anything that I should know about ahead of time?
No.
I
Okay.
have panels on Saturday. So if he wants to do it if he wants to do it on Saturday, we'll have to mess with my schedule, which is possible. But if he wants to do it second half, anytime Friday that works for Paul,
Like,
and anytime Sunday, you fly out.
afternoons are better than evenings.
When do you fly out on Sunday?
You'd prefer afternoon?
Yeah.
So maybe...
Gen Con, I remember Gen Con. I was so tired.
Yeah.
It was hard to like.
Oh yeah, I was tired and
Mobilize.
starving
Mobilize,
during
yeah,
that,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Friday afternoon that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually have an easier
It's
time
just
getting
harder
up
for
at
me.
conventions than I do at home.
That's true. I agree with that.
We can do 8 in the morning.
That's me.
I still don't want to do a morning one. I'm just trying to think of
8
when I'm
a.m.?
going to have meetings.
8 a.m. every Tuesday.
And then I'm officially going to BGG, just so you know.
Gross.
Yeah, no, you don't care. It's just, I decided to do it at
Good.
SN, so.
Good. I'm glad you are.
Yep.
Have a nice time.
Thanks.
Good. Do you need help?
I'm just putting mentally like my backstory and other thoughts together.
It's not super important for this room, but the fact that like he doesn't know where he comes from, he doesn't know where this needle's from, that's not public knowledge. Like he doesn't care. Like it's not a thing that he's super kept secret, but nobody's been like, oh, so like,
Where are you from?
Yeah, how'd you get into this? He's like, oh, well, I've done it forever. The fact that by the time he opens his shop, he's already a guy in his late 50s, early 60s, and now he's in his late 60s. But by the time he opens the shop, he's in his late 50s, and he's like a tailor. Nobody goes, oh, like, how long have you been doing this? The assumption is forever. And so, like, it's not like a thing that people know, like, oh, this guy came out of nowhere. It's like, nah, it's just,
Right.
no one asks those sorts of questions.
Yeah. What's up? Do you have questions?
No, I'm trying to figure out my backstory.
Okay.
Like I have
Yeah, I
a
almost need to
structure
just think
here
about
that
it.
works, but I'm trying to figure out how it all pulls together
That's what
in
I'm
my
trying to do, too.
backstory.
Like I'm done, but I need to figure out exactly the details of my backstory
Okay.
and
Well, run
then
me through
therefore
what
the
you
quality.
got.
So because of, so I have the background of a performer, and I'm a fiddle player, musician,
Okay.
is what I do. And I go around, and I don't have a lot of money or anything, but I go around and I kind of do that. But I, at some point in the past, and this is what I'm trying to iron out, at some point in the past, I made a deal, like I convinced someone to do a set of experiment things on me because I was unhappy with something. I'm like, my life would be much better if you just do this experiment thing. I know you're working on this cool stuff. That's what I want.
Yeah.
It was like a scientist or something. And the experiment was like basically reasonably for me, and it gave me like some psychic powers and basic shape shifting so that I can like control who I am, because I couldn't, and that was like upsetting to me. But I forget, it was some fairly selfish reason
Well,
where I
maybe you
convinced
had-
this person who like I liked and they were nice and was a scientist to do this.
Okay.
But there was like an explosion thing that killed them
Okay.
as a result of running this experiment, right? So it like basically worked on me and I got what I wanted, but like it killed them or ruined their life in some way, and everything is horrible. Like it made a bunch of like horrible things happen.
Right.
That now, so like my debt isn't specifically monetary debt,
So
as
it's
so much it
kind
is
of
like
like it's kind of a little bit like you made a deal with the devil, in the like thematically,
Mm-hmm.
in that like you wanted this outcome, but you didn't see the negative outcome
right, exactly.
from that.
Yeah, and it was like and like I very much blame myself about
Yeah.
that, right? Because like it was my fault that they did this thing that they didn't really want to do, but they did it as like a favorite like me. So that's the kind of like
Yeah.
like background like emotion that I'm going for.
Yeah.
And so I'm like I want to construct the details around
Okay.
there, but
what
that's
if you
kind of
had some sort of degenerative brain disease that was going to make it so you can't play your music anymore?
Yeah,
And-
something like that might be like it's something
It was like,
like that direction.
this is this is a
MS.
treatment that's not like we're not supposed to use this. It's not tested. It's
Yeah.
not like
So your
that
friend was
sort
like
of
a
thing.
researcher, and he was like, "This is a thing," and you were like,
Yeah.
we're working on this. It'll be ready in 10 years, and you're like, I don't
Yeah.
have 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very much like that.
You
Yeah.
got some sort of powers out of it.
Right, exactly. So the
Mm-hmm.
actual powers I got, so like I'm in general, like most of my stuff is just like, this is who I am, and I practice doing that, about being like very aware of things and self-discipline and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically, like I have I have post-cognition, so like I can really see like all of the stuff that happened in the past and why and the reasons for it. And so that my main power is based on like my natural like creativity and insight and like awareness of situation, and like I'm very observant and very inquisitive, right, is my like personality. But that combined with the fact that I now have like just supernatural like psychic post-cognition sort of stuff. So like I think that the mental thing is a big part of it, because it gave me really, really sharp and tight mental stuff so I can see back, but that also feeds into my guilt about feeling bad about stuff. And the other thing is that the shapeshifting is very, very mild. It lets me make my body look exactly the way I want it at any given time, but I always look like a adult human of roughly my size.
Yeah.
Right. So that's all that I can do.
you can
just,
like
like-
change your hair
Right.
a little.
And that was
or-
also like the ability to do that. So like I don't have to have a
You have to have a mask, 'cause
mask
you
or
can
anything,
change
because
what you
like,
look like.
I look this way when I am, and I'm trying to figure out like my motivations and like exactly how I like hero in that specific kind of way. This is what I'm like.
Yeah.
It'll take me a little bit. I'll write it up and then I'll send it to
Okay.
you, and then we'll have it for real.
Yeah.
From before we start playing.
I think it could be super fun if the
but-
guy's life was just, whoever your friend is, their life was just ruined.
Yeah, it might be
And now
that.
they're an evil villain or something. You know what I mean? Like they could
Right,
be.
or
Or maybe they're incapacitated in a coma, and
Right,
you have
exactly.
to, and you're like, oh
You're
no,
trying
I'm
to
like
figure
taking
it out.
care of their family. So, like it's something
Or
like
maybe even
Yeah.
taking care of them because
Or
they,
them, right.
they had already thrown their life into this research to the point that they had like alienated a lot of friends and family.
Yeah.
And so
It's-
they were primed to make the bad decision of
Right.
doing this thing for you.
Yeah, it's something.
yeah.
It's there, but
Yeah.
I wanna like take a few hours and
Cool.
like really think about it and write it
Yeah.
up. But that's where I am. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds really good too. Cool. Where are you at, Jen?
I'm starting to figure out my backstory.
I like the idea that potentially, and I don't want to dictate any story,
Right, of course.
but I like the idea that like if you walked into my shop, I would see you and I'd be like, murderer, get out. Because like the pall that hangs over you, the identity that you have of yourself
Right.
is that you're a killer.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
then I'd be like, oh, no, you're bad, get out. And you're like, no, yeah, try to explain yourself. And I'm like, nobody gets to explain themselves, I just know. And you're like, well, but he is, and so like that's a
Yeah.
weird foot to start out on,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah. Now I can look at Jen.
I don't know. I have very chaotic thoughts in my head.
I mean, that's
right
good.
now.
That's your principle.
Right.
Um,
Maybe we can all help you
Yeah.
reach something.
so I mean, I had the original idea of like this character is from a family of heroes. And I think that there's probably, parents and a sibling. And then for whatever reason, which I haven't figured out yet, my character didn't have abilities. And so they were from whatever this big city is that we're in originally. And I don't know if I want to go too far down the path of like, because they were all superheroes and they were in the limelight, like nobody really knew who I was. And so I don't know if I want to go that route with it or not. But somehow the idea, so I used the accident as my power source.
Yeah.
Something happened, either I was originally thinking to like a sibling or something, like the parents were off saving the day somewhere and something happened to a sibling and I had to be the one that saved them, and whatever that was is what gave me my powers. So I ended up choosing the element of fire for that last power that I couldn't figure out. And so it gave me these powers, but I didn't really want them. I don't like the way that, you know, it was, like I said, that uniqueness in me was the fact that I didn't have powers. And so I feel like I moved away to, I actually did the reverse. I moved to a small town, and because I could make a name for myself as just me. And like, you know, I could be like a star athlete at the local school. I haven't figured out how old I am, but like I could do all these things that just made me the person that everybody wanted to connect with, not me as an extension of my family.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to figure out if it's like maybe my family died and so the will brought me back or
Yeah,
something like
maybe you
that.
had, like, one of your parents
Like
died.
they, right, and they've left, you know, the family legacy, the family home, the family whatever to me, and so now I'm back in the city, and so I've got access to all of that, but I don't really want it, even though technically I have these powers, and so it's kind of a big internal struggle, and so it means that sometimes there are situations where like something might happen and I'll be like, nobody needs me to go save them right now, like they're fine, there's other people around that can do this, I can just be me and not be a hero in that way. So I don't know, I'm still trying to formulate through how it all works
I have
and like
one
how I know
suggestion.
people. Yeah.
For age, it might be easy to determine that you're not like a teen for the sake of, I don't know that your parents would let you go and live
Right.
somewhere by yourself. So maybe you went to college away.
Well, and that's
or
what I was trying to
something.
think of, like if I just did did a school transfer or something along those lines, but
Is there a chance that you got disowned? Like, how did your parents feel about this? Was
your-
the thing that happened to your sibling, was it something that they actually blamed on you much more to the point that they were like, no, you're being sent away?
Like, did your
It
sibling
could be.
survive?
yeah, it could be. And that's where I'm trying to figure out, I don't know how dark, what direction to push that, like, family history, family background, like, is that the thing where, like, I just chose to leave because I wanted to do whatever, or they disowned me, or, like,
Yeah. There is an
how that works.
idea. If like all of you, if you want all of your family to have died, then like everyone is a powered hero, and like they all went and fought a thing
Right.
and then died. Like
Right.
too big of a thing, or
Right.
like they defeated it, but they died. And so then you're like, well, I gotta go take care of like the dog, or you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
well, you
Gotta
know what I
go
mean?
back.
Whatever the
The dog
leftovers
had
are.
powers too. The dog was
Yeah.
part of the team. It's
That's-
all
yeah.
Dog's dead too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dog's dead too.
Right.
Lying. I'm
Yeah.
just lying.
I mean, it would feed into the idea of like the kind of that reluctant hero thing. Like they were all heroes and they got all the glory and all the fame and whatever for doing that, and look where I got them. And
I like-
now I have to. But
Yeah.
the hard part is that it's a little bit hard to figure out. Like if I'm so reluctant to do this, why have I teamed up with 3 other people and
Right.
like why am I here?
Well,
and
it may
that
not
part
necessarily
is what
start
I'm
as a
struggling
teamed up
with.
as like it can be as you're there, and if there's a thing that's terrible, you'll fight it, but you don't want to, and like circumstances can lead to that.
Yeah.
A question I had for you is like you said you have this power of fire. Is that part of it? Is that like that power manifests in a way that you don't really have a lot of control? That when you're doing fire, like oh, there's
Yeah.
fire all around, and you're like this isn't good as a hero. Like I should fight and I
Right.
should run and jump and punch.
Right.
But when fire happens, it's just everywhere.
Yeah, so, and I think it's a little bit of that, but I think it's also part of the idea because it came from an accident that did harm to a family member, like a sibling or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I assume it was something like an explosion of fire or something that happened. So now every time I use that power, not only can I not fully control it, I don't trust it, and it's like using the thing that caused
Right.
harm
Do you have
and trying
visible
to figure
burns?
that out. Good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If
'cause I
all
haven't
because if all your
gotten that
family is
far
like
yet.
we're all heroes and we all look like
Right.
heroes, and you've got like you look fine, but you've got like a burn line that runs here, and so you're like, I don't go in the photo ops with these people.
Yeah.
Like if you have that, which isn't to say that that would be true, but you would have that feeling about yourself
Right, yeah.
potentially.
Or it could be true, and your parents really fucking suck. Or
Yeah.
Fired.
it's a recording. Really suck.
Yeah.
To cut to
Because
right
I used fire in a couple different, I have one ability in each zone that uses it, but like when I get to the red zone, I used eruption where it attacks 3 targets and one of them has to be myself.
Yeah.
So like in little instances I can use it, but when it gets really bad, then I kind of lose control, which is part of why I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it is one of my, it's an 8, like a D8, so it is kind of one of my stronger abilities, so it adds to some of that internal conflict of like, when do I use this, when don't I?
Sure.
But because I have the principle of the powerless, that idea that like, no, I've built myself up to be this, not my powers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
cool.
I like the mix between it, but I haven't quite found that exact connecting thread that makes it all fit.
I could think of a tie-in very easily with us, with me trying to figure out what's wrong with you.
Slash you being like, stop burning all the plants.
Yeah, like a thing where I'm like, I'm very concerned because you're going to cause a wildfire. Also,
Right.
That's my next question. I was going to start with
Yeah.
you. It's like, who do you know and why? And
Yeah.
then whoever you pick that you're going next. So
Right. That's one of the things I haven't figured out yet.
Okay.
Because I know why I'm back in the city, but I haven't figured out the tie-in
Okay.
of. It's a little like I
mean,
just.
Well, let's start
Yeah.
because Maggie, you seem to like you seem to have a better idea. So
yeah. Well, I don't think I know Christopher's character at all because there's just no reason that we would know each other.
Maybe. Hard to say.
Probably,
Hard to say.
unless like
But if
because I don't need a costume. Like my character doesn't need a costume, and I don't know that I work with other heroes. But I think that like I could see a tie-in with us in the fact that you maybe have to come back because of whatever reason, but also maybe we could have, if we're close to the same age, we could have known each other from school, or we could have, I could be helping you like correct what's wrong. Essentially, like if you're not a fan of your power, like how I'm not a fan of my power. And I feel like that ties into the whole I don't want to be a hero, I don't want to be in the limelight type thing, but
It's interesting because everybody, like, you don't want to have your powers. You don't want to have that one power. You don't want to have gotten the powers in the way that
Right.
you did.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm
you
just
want to be in battle.
and I'm not a hero. I'm not
Yeah.
a fighter. I'm
Right.
happy to help other people,
Yeah.
but I'm not a hero.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah.
just,
It could be said that I know you because you would have known my family.
I was to say I've been
Oh,
around
yeah.
for
That
a
makes
decade
sense. Right.
plus of this, and if it needs to be longer, it can be longer. I just threw a decade out. So
Yeah,
like
no.
I definitely like I might have known your family and known you when you were a kid. I'm like, oh yeah, I
Right.
remember when she was a kid, and like probably going to be growing up to be
Right.
taking on the family mantle and all that.
And stuff. Yeah, that's good.
Because you might be the only one, since most people, depending how, like, I don't want to go too, like, woe is me, pity party with the story, but,
mean,
like,
yeah, that's fine.
depending, like, you could be one of the few people in the city that, like, actually remembered me as part of the family, whereas, like, everyone else just remembered the superhero part of the
Right.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know all the people because
Right.
I am the one that puts them in the costumes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like I was like, oh, I figured someday I would. I mean, it could even be a situation where like you come back to the city and there's a knock on your door and you're like, why is there's nobody here? And I'm like, oh hey, I'm here. I heard through the grapevine that
Yeah.
you moved back in, and I brought you your costume.
Right.
And you're like, what?
Right, whereas
no,
like,
I do not have a costume.
purposefully
I'm not
made it-
doing
yeah,
this.
I made a point of when I moved back to the city, I didn't really want to be here, and I made a point of just being the non-hero me. Like,
Oh, that's a
okay,
cool scene.
And so like I bring you the
then,
costume,
yeah.
and you're like, that's not for me. I'm like, no, this is right for you.
Right.
I'm just gonna leave it here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You'll find the right time to put
Yeah.
it on.
can your costumes help her control, like help them control their powers
My
more?
costumes help people be the hero that they want to be.
Okay, cool.
So,
there's
not-
a sense
but-
of it could be yes, but it could be no, depends on what you want.
Like you might think you want to not be using this fire, and you might think you want to not be fighting
Right.
crime, but is that what you really want?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all about self-discovery and acceptance.
Yeah. I think I have knowledge of Christopher because I do have like criminal underworld knowledge.
Mr. EB.
Mr. EB, sorry. I think I do know of Mr. EB, but maybe we haven't actually met because I wouldn't.
Mystery B.
Mr. EB.
It's an unknown.
Anyways, I think that I probably would know of you because of that.
Okay.
Many people know it.
I mean, yeah. I guess to Paul then.
So my extra suspicion is I felt like I think it would be very interesting. There's something there
Yeah.
with you know because also since I have like one of my more notable things is post-cognition.
Right.
You might know something about your past.
Or
that
like
you don't,
that might
or,
be able
I
to see something
could,
to where
or
I'm
have
like
an idea. I don't know.
It's interesting because we're both people that read other people in certain ways.
Right.
And if you walk in the door and I'm like, you must be a bad person.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not. Here's how you're misreading this. Also, do you even know who you are? Because it seems like you don't.
Right.
Like, so there's
a weird thing there. So
Yeah.
that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
And
Well, also
also, I
might
think
be-
I would go into your shop not because, like, I don't even know if I am a superhero.
Right. A lot of people come to the shop
For
just because they need
myself.
clothes tailored.
Well, I specifically do because I do like performance things, and I
Right.
have like very
You're a
specific
performer.
requirements for clothes, and I'm like something there, right? Like I wanted you to make normal clothes, which you maybe
Yeah,
do.
I do, definitely.
make normal clothes for me. Even.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Can do
anyway.
it.
But then also there's this interesting interaction
Well,
there.
I was. What if like this is like a black spot for your post-cognition also, and so it's like weird to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not,
like-
that, it's
That's
not that
awesome.
you can see something about my past, it's
It's
that
a-
you can't see
And
something
like
about my
that's
past.
what's like.
which is really weird.
And I think that the interaction that I would have with you about you stuff is that starts with the like, I think that maybe you're a bad person.
Yeah.
And we have this conversation is
Yeah.
like, because you're saying you don't know if you're a hero or not.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's more that I find lost things for people for money
Sure.
or something. Like it's like
Sure.
one of those kind of things.
But I think that there's a situation in which my character could say to your character, you will never be a hero until you realize that you are.
Right, or something.
Like,
Like some sort
because
of very comic book.
that it's, but just that it's the idea is that like, you're the one that decides whether or not you're a
Right,
good
right.
person.
Yeah.
I don't decide if you're a good person. Nobody else decides if you're a good person. You decide if you are.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also that the guy that gave you your powers and died or is comatose or any other number of things could have been a colleague of Maggie's also.
Doing science stuff.
Doing-
Yeah, because biology. It would have both
Yeah.
been different
You're,
types.
you're,
but
you're old because you're 30. How oldish is your character? Do you have an age range? Middle-aged, teenager, mid-20s?
I think I'm also old in my mid-30s.
Okay, you're in your mid-30s?
Yeah,
Very
so pretty
old,
old.
mid-
So that's very
Yeah.
old.
Pretty
right?
old.
And you're still figuring out where you land.
Yeah, I kind of think I need to be like out of school, established.
So maybe like mid-20s or even older?
Yeah, you might
Maybe
even be
older.
Pretty, yeah, you're pretty old too.
You might be.
This is like the
in your
oldest,
30s also.
the oldest team.
Yeah, it's pretty old
I
people.
mean, Christopher really
What I'm
brings
trying to
up
figure
our
out-
average age.
Yeah,
So.
that's true.
No, what
I'm the
I,
age of, I'm older than any two of you put together.
I have a lot of like acrobatics,
think.
close combat, agility type of things, and I'm trying to figure out where those came from. Where like the fire thing obviously came from the accident, and I think that those were just enhanced by the accident, and I already had those skills because that's what I was trying to do to make a name
But
for
you
myself.
still
So I
kinda
don't know
wanna be
if
in
I'm
your
like,
physical
Your
prime.
parents
I don't know
make
if I'm
you
like an
train with-
athlete or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean,
Did your
were you
parents make
training
you
to do-
train with your siblings, even though like they knew you weren't
It's possible.
like,
yeah.
and maybe that like added to like the whole resentment thing, like the whole.
I mean, if they had you
And-
training from childhood, assuming that you would get powers also eventually, and then you never did,
Yeah,
like
that would
be
suck.
that would suck a lot.
Yeah,
Especially if your sibling was younger, and like
and also like maybe you're like not like it's not that you're not accomplished. Like maybe you were like star football quarterback, team player,
Or got good
baseball. I
grades,
don't know,
and,
and all of
like-
this stuff, but like just not enough for them.
Yeah,
Like you could have been like on the Olympic diving team, and it was like not enough.
right.
wow.
I don't know.
Are you
I'm
okay?
just
I know.
Are we
That's really bad
exploring?
idea.
I know.
Yes.
That's
Are we
the
exploring
problem.
Jen's character or Maggie
That's
right now?
right. I don't know how far, because I don't know if I want to go down the you're different, so you're bad route.
yeah. I'm just
Or
going to
if
throw
it
this out
was
there. My parents
just
think I'm very
that
well accomplished. I'm
I
fine.
self-inflicted the idea that I liked that I was different, and I liked that separated me from it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it could also be like you don't have to have like mean parents.
Yeah.
Like your parents could love you and not be like, oh, you're lesser because of this powers, but you could have internalized that and
Right.
said, I know they don't say that, but I know they think it.
Yeah.
And, even
And
if
it
they-
might not be
And even
true,
if they
it might-
don't think it,
yeah.
if you're sure they are thinking it,
Yeah,
that's all the same to you.
Yeah.
that's as good as them thinking it to you. Yeah.
Alternatively, what if you ran away and joined the circus because you were just very good at athletic stuff? And that explains why you left town and also are very still good at athletic things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to figure out.
Okay, I think those are all really good things. Those are great characters. This is your guy.
Hey.
He's very old.
Yeah.
It's great.
Are you supposed to be in your mid 60s?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
They'd be in the
I'm,
mid-60s.
That guy's definitely in his mid-60s.
I don't think you took care of his skin then.
No, he's been outside in the sun his whole life. Actually, my character, like, he thinks he's probably about in his mid-60s, but actually he's only a few years old. He's got the Benjamin Button thing.
Oh, that's fun. And that's why it's all black. It's like a blank slate. You're like, I don't understand. You were old.
He just popped into being and is going to de-age now.
No, okay. So the last thing is
The Benjamin Button thing.
Benjamin.
the last thing. I'm gonna pull each of you aside and talk to you about this stuff in private,
Nice.
and not today.
Not even on camera?
Non-recorded?
Not recorded.
Trevor won't
Yeah.
know then.
No one will know except for you and me. That's the, you and I will not. Yeah. But I have 3 questions that I want each of you to think about your character.
Begin.
The first one is, what is your secret motivation for becoming a hero? The second one is, what do you stand to lose by living a double life? And the third is, what would you kill to know or obtain? That's it. So put some thought into those, and then we'll have once I'm back from my trip, then we'll talk about all that stuff before.
What's your trip?
It's next week.
Yeah,
It's out of town.
next week I'm going on a road trip.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm gone all next week.
Oh.
Going to Nevada and back. Yeah.
Which route are you?
4-day drive, just 70 and
70.
Yeah.
So you going across 70 all the way? You're going through the mountains
Yeah.
through Denver.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm staying in Denver. I'm driving to Denver in one day.
Yeah.
Staying there and then driving
Driving
to
to Denver
Carson
one
City
day
the
is
next
down
day.
to Vegas.
14 hours.
Okay.
That is a
Yeah.
really pretty drive from Denver to Vegas.
Yeah.
But the drive from here to Denver is boring.
Yeah, it's sort of a...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drive
No, I
here
used to
from-
live in
from-
Denver before I
Right.
moved to Kansas
Oh,
City.
okay.
So like that
Yeah.
was.
The drive from here through most of Kansas is boring, but once you hit the Colorado border to Denver, it gets more, you can see mountains and it gets more.
Right, but
interesting.
it'll probably be nighttime by the time I get there.
Yeah.
Well, just wear night vision goggles.
Oh yeah, duh.
The whole time that you drive, it's really safe.
No, just
Yeah,
the
I thought about taking 80, but like apparently this time of year it gets real sketch weather-wise.
it does.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Sketch AF.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're going to Vegas or
No, I'm going to Carson City.
Carson City?
Yeah.
Carson
Oh, yeah,
City.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Right. If I were going to Vegas, I would have gone down around.
So you can actually get
The-
really easily. That's actually if you're going just right to Vegas, it's slightly faster to go that way.
Yeah.
To take 70.
Oh, to take 70?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
70 hits, like ends at I-15 in central Utah. And then
Okay.
I-15 goes right down to Vegas.
Oh,
and then up
okay.
to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So you kind of wind up in the middle on I-15 between Salt Lake City and Vegas. So you're going to, though, I assume, go up north to Salt Lake and then over on 80? Or you're going to go...
No, I'm on 70 the whole.
I know,
like,
but
the whole way basically.
The 70 doesn't go to Carson City.
It might just. I think there's only two highways that I take. It might be 115 the other
Oh,
way.
well, you might get off
I'm
of...
not sure exactly. I have a route, but
Yeah.
Google knows.
yeah, that's where I got the route.
Google knows.
Yeah,
You might get off on a U.S. highway.
that might be.
That might be true.
I love that you have this map of all the highways in your head.
Yeah. I do. Because Carson City... Okay.
That's
yeah.
literally what was happening right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Getting it clear.
yeah.
I know where all the interstates go.
So yeah, but
That's the thing I'm gonna
Denver is
make.
basically the halfway point.
I'm going to make all of our
And so-
employees... I'll give you a map of the U.S., but you have to draw on all the interstate highways and number them correctly.
I'm not doing
That's
that.
actually not that hard.
You do.
Because they...
'Cause you get
They
an app
follow
of
a
the US,
rubric.
It looks kind of like this.
But my
That's what
new
the US looks
car
like.
also,
And
I'm
when-
so
yeah,
excited for
'cause
this
you've got,
because
like,
Why
I'm
is
driving a
this one
spaceship
pointy?
basically. It has
It's a little
It
better.
attaches to it.
lane detection, so it knows
Calls like
it can steer for
It's
me.
nuts.
I just turn it on and I can do
Interstate,
this,
and
and it
then
will
there's
keep
a
me
couple
centered in
cities
the
here.
lane.
And then, like,
And then my cruise control
what it
also, I
looks
can
like.
set 1, 2, 3, 4 car
Yeah.
lengths, and it will automatically put that in front of,
That's video.
without turning the cruise
Oh.
control
That's
off.
amazing.
We did your project.
It will match.
Shows the interstates. There's one that just goes like that.
It's very
So-
weird.
Yeah.
It will match the speed in front of me. So that's very exciting.
All right, what else, GM?
That is it.
You just called them
That's
jokes.
everything. I need the answers to those questions. We're gonna sit down and talk about it, and
You want,
also
like,
we'll
a 3
talk
to 5
about
page paper on each one.
if you want to write that much. Like, feel free.
He
If you want to
will.
write any
Why would
scenes
you-
together, feel free. If you want to, like, any of that is fair game, as much or as little as you want to do.
I'm not going to do that much writing because instead I'm going to do that for the book.
Right. Yeah,
And
I
y'all
figured.
This
appreciate
actual
that.
real book.
Yeah.
I figured, but as much or as little as you want to do is okay. As long as you have those when we meet, and also character descriptions for costumes and how you want to be
Have
drawn.
everything.
Are you drawing us?
I'm gonna be drawing you.
All right.
Yep, I'll draw everything.
We'll have
for
to
this
talk about
campaign.
that, about what way is better to depict my character. We'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing characters. This is fun, and I can't wait to see what happens in this campaign.
Thank you.
It's great. Thank you, viewers, and we will see you in the next video.
Until next time.
Thank you so much for watching that hero creation. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did. If you want more, our first session is right here. Just click this. Click that thing. That's the first session. Over here is the GM prep session that I did with Chris Burton. Don't click that if you don't want mega spoilers. Don't, just be real careful. That's the mouse is dangerous over there. So bye.